booty.
Hi there. Thank you for stopping by. Welcome to Utopia District. I'm IndyAdvant. It's a pleasure to have you here. This is a new Vaporwave podcast. Feel free to subscribe and check out my website, utopiadistrict.com. Continuing to flesh out that website, but I figure I would bring you some more interviews while I'm doing that. And today on the show, we are sitting down with a dear friend of mine, Groovy Kaiju, FKA Groovy Godzilla.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Welcome to the show, my friend. What's up?
Dude, I am big chillin'. What up?
Not much, man. Big chillin'. Thanks for coming on my new show. Yeah, we'll be calling you Groovy Kaiju for this.
Sure.
We could also call you Aaron, I suppose, can't we?
Yeah, you can call me whatever, dude. I'm so chillin'.
Yeah. Well, I'm so stoked to be talking to you, man. I love your music. You're so incredibly talented, dude, and you have so much insight that you can offer. I cannot wait for people to hear this interview.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No worries, man. Let's dive into it, shall we? So yes, you got started in 2014 with Groovy Kaiju.
Yeah.
Future Funk project. Let's rewind a little bit and get into your musical upbringing and why you got into music and how eventually you made your way into the Future Funk world.
Yeah, totally. So that's really interesting. So, how did I get it? So how I got originally into music is my dad was always into music. They don't play music or anything. Like my mom honestly doesn't even like music. She's just for her, music is more like background noise for the club than it is actually listening to. But my dad's really into the 70s soul and stuff like that, and he can do the thing
awesome.
that they do in all the soul songs.
Yeah.
But he never played a show or anything. And but
damn,
what really
gotta get that guy on what is that show? It's the voice.
Yeah, the voice. Yeah. But I didn't start listening to music actually buy an iPod and stuff, and so I started playing with Guitar Hero, and that's I got really into Guitar Hero. And then
oh sweet.
Yeah, so I used to be a big metalhead. And another thing, shout out to my probably my best friend Kevin, and his parents Ken and Tara. They took me to a bunch of shows when I was 13. I saw Tool. My first show ever was Metallica.
Oh damn.
So yeah, they would take me along to all these big concerts they would go to. So I just was really into metal. I was very musical, I guess, in my teens and stuff, and started getting really into that. But then around maybe high schoolish, I started getting more into hip hop, just talking to a bunch of hip hop to my friends. And then what got me to make music actually was Odd Future Wolfgang. The reason is because if you listen to their old stuff, it's so terrible. It is just the quality's terrible. The drums are all clipping. Bass is bad, but it's so fucking cool, you know what I mean? So I was like, hey, look, if these people can make really bad sounding music, but it's still really cool, I think I could do it too. I know how to use a computer. So
give it a shot.
Started playing with FL and stuff, and I was making beats for maybe 4 years, and it was just more for fun and stuff. And I had a few albums out. Go for it, my bad.
Back in 2010 or something?
Yeah, it's 2010-ish is when I first started making stuff. And I had a bunch, and I also want to mention, I used to be in the skate crew, and they would all rap. So I was pretty much I'll just make beats to help everyone rap. And then
oh, sick, man.
Yeah.
I read you're an avid skateboarder.
Yeah, I love skating, dude. I can't as much right now.
You can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess where you are, yeah, that's sort of true. How is it over there? Sorry to go on the tangent, by the way, but.
Oh yeah. No worries. In terms of the coronavirus stuff, it's I stay inside, dude. I don't go out. I work from home, so I stay inside. I don't know what's going on outside.
Yeah,
honestly.
same. Yeah.
So I'm just
get some food
is it safe
and
yet?
Get back.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, skateboarding, making beats because of Odd Future, and then I just making beats a bunch. And then slowly, once I got to college, I started meeting more people that were like, hey, here's how you master and stuff, because your beats are good, but you just don't know what you're doing. And they started teaching me small things here and there. And then I found
true production.
Yeah, totally. And then so my timeline's all messed up. I'm sorry. It was a long time ago. So while I was making beats, I had another buddy named Astro Black, and they were the first person I like ever collabed with. They are like the funniest person, like probably top 10 funniest people I've ever met in my life. But and they're an amazing lo-fi hip hop producer. But
oh, nice. What's their name again? Sorry.
Astro Black. So like
Astro Black.
TROBLK.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, and when I was like collabing with them one day, they were like, just show me artsy music, and it was like back when the first song, like they had St. Pepsi's like Tell Me or something, like the first St. Pepsi song they'd ever put on artsy music was like around the same time he showed me artsy. So I had it in the back of my mind and stuff. And when I got to college, they started uploading more and more future funk. And then since I was making beats already, I was like, like one day I was like chilling in my room with my college roommate, and then I was like playing with whispers and the beat goes on, and I was like sped it up, added some drums. It's like, and I looked at my roommate, I was like, dude, I'm St. Pepsi. And then he was like, oh, cool, you know what I mean? And then he like left and came back, and he was like, wait, is that actually you? And I was like, yeah. He's like, no, I thought you said you like that was St. Pepsi. And I was like, oh shit. So it was like one of those moments of like, oh dude, I was just like fucking around in FL, and like it had that sound to it. So I just kept doing it, and then here we are 6 years later.
Oh, that's so sick, yo.
So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks to the hip hop.
Yeah. Just making beats. I still make beats too, so yeah. For
sure. So what was it about the future funk like sound or style or aesthetic that made you like want to continue and not just say, hey, you know, I'm St. Pepsi, this is a funny joke? I imagine you got inspired to continue doing it at some point somehow.
Yeah. So after I made that like first song, then I made like the second song with Space Dandy, and like now it's got like a lot of good numbers and stuff.
That's a big song. Like,
yeah, I know. It's the second one I ever made. But
yeah.
And the thing is, that song, I'm sorry, I'm already talking about it, but that song, it like hurts me so much because I didn't know what I was doing for the most part. So like in the chorus, the hats are off beat. And like people love the song, but every time I hear it, I'm like, "Fuck, man, I hate this song." But it like did really well, and I'm like, "All right, well, here we're just gonna leave it up, I guess."
Well, that's a funny indicator, or it's very revealing. It's like it makes you ask the question, like, do future funk fans, do the majority like it has 1 million views on it, right?
Yeah, well, just about. I'm at 850,000. Like it's almost there. I'm waiting for the day.
Yeah. And so do all those people just not care, or do they accept it, or are they there because it's more like of a wallpaper thing and they just like having that song on loop because of the way it sounds with the image, like the anime video that goes along with it, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, we can get into it. I have theories.
Let's do it. That's what we're here for.
Very programmery. So in I have
get that data, analyze that shit.
Yeah, I have a hot take going on record. I think there's like a certain bar you have to reach of like how good the song sounds before like your average listener doesn't care anymore. Like you have to know maybe how to use reverb and like a few things, and like after that point, any extra like mastering stuff, like it's kind of like, okay, cool, it sounds nice to gain respect amongst your other peers. But in terms of like releasing a song, will it make numbers? I think it's like kind of 50-50. And I get that. And I think another big part of it, so I think the quality part is just like, I think it maybe barely passed that bar because I mean, there are some parts of the song, or at least the original version of it. I just remastered it recently, but the original where I'm like, man,
I saw that.
I don't know. But so I think it barely got above the bar. But then also, I think it's just that intro. The like, oh, like the whole booty thing. I think people just like that. And they're like, you know,
oh yeah, for sure. It's
booty and then like a bass line right after.
It makes you know what you're in for, like party time, yeah.
So I think that's maybe like a little bit of like the kind of like virality of it is just like, I put on this song and like, booty, and like after, you know, you show your friends, and then after a while you're like, actually it's not too bad. So
nice.
So, but yeah,
and here you are, 2020, back at it. I know you took a little break there for a little while working on your new album. Yeah, but it's great to see you back.
A long break, yeah. It wasn't like an intentional thing either. It was just more like, oh, I'll get to it eventually, and then I didn't. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, a lot must have been happening at that time. You were what, like 20? You know, probably just starting school or something, you know, like a lot of big changes in your life at that age.
I hope I'm not jumping too fast into a different bunch of different things, but yeah, so
man, I can handle it.
For sure. Yeah. So what ended up happening really was just I was just about to graduate school, and I was working on all types of different musical aliases. So I had like the whole hip hop thing. I started playing around with like more future bass to learn like music theory and stuff. I had like a one rap album. It's terrible. Please don't find it. Yeah. But and then also just I was doing a lot of programming at the time, and I was starting to get kind of known for it. And I started like starting to pitch talks and stuff and getting into conferences, and I was going to Google at the time. So programming just kind of took more and more of my time away from music. And music was always this thing for me back in college that I was like, I'm going to do it for fun. Just put some music on Bandcamp. I'm not clearing samples, so I can't really do anything with the music anyways. It's more of just like, cool, people like it. They like it. That's awesome. So once like, I guess my career really started like taking a hold of my free time, then I was like, I'll come back to it eventually. And then, but yeah, this whole like vaporwave revival that happened, I want to say like 2018, late 2018-ish. I saw it popping back up, and I was like, oh, hey, like, this is a thing now. Like, it's not just a bunch of people in a Facebook group anymore. Like, hell yeah, let's go do it.
Yeah, that's sort of true. Like, when you take a break for that long and you realize the scene is thriving and bigger than ever, and there's all these new faces and new listeners and shit.
Mm-hmm. And people like doing podcasts and people making videos, and like, it's not just
magazines. Yeah, that's true too.
It's like, whoa, what's happening? So yeah, all the stuff.
Real life concerts.
Exactly. Yeah, the Electronicon was the big like wake up call for me, because honestly, just because I hadn't been following it close enough, when I saw Electronicon announced, I was like, oh, that's cute. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they'll like sell a handful of tickets, but like I don't know. And then it sold out in like 30 minutes, and I was like, whoa, who are these people that bought these tickets? I'm like, I haven't seen them.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Something's different now.
Yeah, exactly.
Something changed around here.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Glad to have you back.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I'm glad to be back. It's been awesome to meet all the new faces. It's probably my favorite thing is like meeting Pacific Plaza and all of them. They've been great. Meeting all the new Future Funk people like Strawberries has been nothing but a blast to talk to. Tupperwave, like everyone's just been super great and awesome. I'm like, oh, dude, you guys are all super rad. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shouts out to all those peeps, all the amazing, awesome, warm and welcoming folks in the scene.
Yeah, and you, I'm sorry, I didn't say you, but you, totally you. You're another one of the group I'm stoked to meet.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm so sad we didn't get to do Essential in the tape swap.
Oh, yeah, it's all good. You know, things happen. There will be, I mean, it seems like things aren't slowing down at all, even though it had to go move online. So I think it's going to be real easy to meet up IRL after everything slows down.
True.
So yeah,
that was just my thing. You know, it was my city, it was my event. I felt like it was my chance to really create and develop relationships with all these people like in one shot. Mm-hmm. It's so hard over the internet. It's, you know, like you can only meet so many people so quickly before it becomes sort of disingenuous, and you can't really pay attention to what everybody's saying when they're messaging you.
Totally.
So
I 100%
and that happens, you know, like for sure.
Yeah.
So if there's anyone waiting on a message from me or an email. So, my friend, to the listeners that do not know what you sound like, let's play a song.
Dope. Awesome. Yeah, sure.
Maybe something off of your new record, Still Groovy?
Yeah. We could play probably, what do we want to play? I'd play Senorita. Just, it's actually doing pretty good Spotify-wise, so it's probably the most popular song.
That's the single.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right, my friends, here is Senorita by Groovy Godzilla.
So that's a one tangent we can get into too. The reason why I changed it was just because I saw things like magazines and stuff popping up, and I know Toho, people that own Godzilla, are like very on it. So I was just afraid, like, oh, what if Space Dandy 2 comes out? And they're like, no, one Space Dandy was enough, like, strike down. So I was like, let me change the name now before it's like too late and too many people are depending on me. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I gotcha.
Ooh, you feeling these, huh? Yeah, you feeling this, yeah? Ooh. There's a disco.
All of your songs do the same thing to me, man. Every time they just make me want to dance. Like, I know in the intro, I'm like, okay, well, gotta get off the couch and stretch these legs now. It's time to move. Like, it's so awesome. I don't know how you do it.
I don't think I'm the best at mixing and mastering, but I've just learned a lot of tips over time. One thing that I feel like is important for especially the Groovy Kaiju stuff is I add like a ton of effects on there, but all very small. So I'll add like 10% flanger, 10% phaser, 10% just everything, and it just adds a little bit more to it. So it gives it that kind of like warbly, like like dreamy state to the song versus compared to just like just straight dry. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've certainly fucking developed your sound over the years, man. Like going back to what you were talking about with what was it? First song.
Like
Space Dandy.
Yeah.
It's just like I like that song too. It's great. I know it off heart. It's a banger. Throw it on any time. But this is like it's really so refined, and I think it's your best album. For sure.
Dude, thank you so much. Oh my god.
I love your other albums too, though, man.
Rad. Thank you. Yeah. I'm so
really
glad
good.
to hear that.
Got the tape. So stoked to have that tape.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I super duper appreciate it. I cannot express it enough. Yeah.
Shouts out Pacific Plaza.
Hell yeah. Shout them out, dude. I'm so glad I met them and just started hanging out with them.
Alex.
Yeah.
Alex. The virtual memory shows. You've been playing so many shows now.
Oh yeah, dude. Virtual memory is like such an awesome thing. I'm so glad that I'm like regularly part of it. Like it's just, I don't know. It's just been such a big blast to helping out with Pacific Plaza. I cannot. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. It's been awesome. Data Girl, Earthboy, Alex, they're all just amazing people. Tyler, All Hell Breaks Loops. They're just a fantastic group of people. Cannot say enough nice things about them. But yeah, I'm also super glad to hear that you like the album. For me, every album is like, it's always like scary. I don't know why, but just because I've, kind of with the whole Space Dandy thing, I think I know why people like it, but you never really know until you release it, and then like you hope. Like one super random story with me is when I dropped Godzilla Got Busy, which is still like my first. Since it's my first, it's like my most popular just because it's been around longer. I was kind of chasing.
It's iconic too, the cover.
Yeah, the Godzilla dunking. For the remastered album, I actually have like someone had redrawn the cover, but like in the style of like the Godzilla I have with the sunglasses and stuff. So that'll be the cover. I'll have to share it with you after. It came out really nice. But
nice, man.
So like my first 3 albums, I was kind of trying to chase that like first album that I dropped because it did really well like on first release. And it wasn't until about Godzilla Saves Earth that I was like, you know what? Let me just trying to chase that first album to the side, and let me just focus on like making really good music that I like, that I want, Groovy to like go towards. And then that's where it became, I feel like a little bit more hip hoppy and a little bit more bouncy and like, a little bit more humanized. And then that one just also like took off. So I was like, cool, for still groovy, let me just take 4 years of thinking about what would the next Groovy Godzilla albums sound like, and then just like put it all in one. And I'm so glad to hear that it came out the way that I was hoping. So
nice, man.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, congrats on your sold out tape.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
And I'm very. I've said this before on some Discord servers, maybe to you. I'm not quite sure, but I appreciate that you've been thoughtful enough about your album cover. Everybody is, not to say. It's a simple choice and it's a quick choice for people, but you've put your own face on the cover, which I think is the first time anyone's done that in the future funk scene. So I think it's really cool. It adds like a human element to it and more of like a live DJ sense, and it makes it feel more personable as well. Makes the music approachable for me. I really love it, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear. The reason why I did that too is just because I went to Japan, and then when I saw the Godzilla building, I was like, oh yep, this is my next album cover. Has to be. no doubt about it. It has to be the next album cover. I have like a whole personal Discord server, and I had like 15 different like, these could all be Groovy Godzilla albums, but when I saw that giant Godzilla, I was like, that's the one, hands down, easy. But another part of it is I was, every once in a while I'm like, oh, what do people say about me on the internet? So I like Googled myself and someone in some like high school somewhere like wrote a like a presentation about like my music and like how they felt about it and stuff, and they were like, not as much is known about them. And I was like, you could just ask me, like, I'm super extroverted. You could be like, yo dude, like, what's up, like, what's your favorite food? I'd be like, yo, it's this. So I kind of wanted like,
damn,
I did that more
cool.
as like a put my foot out there, like, hey, if you want to know who I am, like, I'm right here, like, I'm in front of the Godzilla building, just hit me up. You know what I mean? Kind of like an invitation.
I'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
So
will anybody show up?
yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I've been here for a while.
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty cold out here.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Bad joke.
I liked it.
All right, let's go back to the beginning. So you put out your first song, first albums, and then you got hooked up with Future Society Collective.
Yeah.
And started, I imagine, developing a relationship with the people over there. So how did that happen, and where did that take you?
Yeah, that's really interesting. So I was just releasing music under Groovy Godzilla. It was going really well. And then the leader of the person just messaged me on SoundCloud, like, hey, do you want to join? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I'm not doing anything else with my life. And they're like, cool. It was just like that. They invited me to the Facebook group, and then we were just all hanging out. Yeah. So, but yeah, Future Society was a bit of fun. I made some good friends out of it. Yeah, it was like, all in all, I liked it. Like, for example, Cerulean Sarais was in there. They and I would talk all the time. Aeon member, they don't make as much music anymore, but they were also super rad. Tokyo Girl / Lord Sun, they were there. Nanidato, just a bunch of like the, I guess, second wave, if I may, people. We were all there just hanging out in a Facebook group chat pretty much. So yeah.
And so many of them no longer in the scene anymore. Yeah.
If I may go on a little tangent, I think that's one of the reasons too why I might have slowed down as well, just because I feel like at the time the Future Funk subreddit was like very active, and that was kind of like the place to go. And there was a lot of like statements like, oh, this is all so lazy, yada yada yada, y'all don't know how to make music. And that just like kind of wears on you after a while. But I never really like put my foot down like, oh, I'm like retiring because like I feel lazy. Like, even I know Alo Adam Posse back in the day made a whole statement about how they're like, oh, you know, people are telling me my music isn't worth much because it's so sampled heavily. But I've always been under the aspect of like, okay, cool, whatever you consider real music. Let's say, like, for example, I used to be a big metalhead. Like, to me, Metallica, for example, they make real music, and I'm doing air quotes even though you can't see them, but real music.
Yeah.
And
I could feel it.
And I've always been under the impression that, like, okay, cool, give them the same records that, you know, Skylar Spence had or St. Pepsi had, and I promise you they won't make hit vibes. You know, like, it's just how it is. Like, you know, they're really good at their instruments and their style of music, and we've kind of taken this and made our own. And I don't think that you can just kind of pin, like, an artist to be, like, not talented just because they sample heavily. Like, I think, I don't believe that hype, and I think some people kind of felt bad about it, and so yeah, that's why I think a lot of people stopped doing as much from their statements and stuff. And I'm like, no, we can't do that as a scene. Like, we're like back here, like, no, this stuff is good.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Nice,
I've been saying that since day one. You can find my Reddit comments.
It was disheartening there for a while, but I'm glad those conversations have mostly vanished.
And I think it's because, and so this is another just like interesting watching the scene for a while take maybe. That's why we get a lot of the more like super duper chopped up future funk now, where it's like crazily chopped because everyone's trying to, you know, not associate themselves with that old like you're being lazy stuff. And I think I don't like that idea. I mean, I like the super chop stuff. That going that direction is cool. If I may, one thing that I've been doing is, I'm sure you hear it in the albums too, is instead of like going like okay, I'll just go and like chop this, you know, way harder. Since I started playing shows in like backyards and stuff, I was like, no, let me just start actually recording my songs live. So like no one can't tell me like, oh, you didn't even play it. I'm like, no, I'm literally sitting here playing the song, and that's what you hear on the album. And then when you go to a show, it's going to be played different every time because I'm not going to remember the exact way I turned my knob. You know what I mean? Right. So instead of going more for like a super duper technical feel, I was like, well, I'll just make it sound more live and sound more played and more human, I guess. Yeah. Nice, man. So yeah, and that's
cool.
Kind of been
I appreciate that. I dig that you said that. It's cool to know. Now I can kind of put it together now with the new sound.
Yeah, and that was kind of my like, no, we're not lazy. Like, get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. How many albums have you dropped? You know what I mean? Like, get on my face with that. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome, man. And yeah, so you had a song on Future Society Volume 1.
Yeah.
You want to play that song?
Sure, yeah. That's an old classic of mine, I think. Or to me, it's a classic. I don't know.
Yeah. Let me pull it up here.
Has the Chris Tucker intro with Jackie Chan. I was a big Rush Hour fan as a kid. That's why I totally sampled that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was just watching the Drunken Master films, trying to get into early Jackie Chan's work.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never seen them before. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Second one's definitely better.
Yeah.
They're very different.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah,
But
ironically, Jackie Chan plays a good, like, drunk martial arts master.
So good, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know how many actors can do that, but Jackie Chan is definitely the one.
Yeah, like the first movie, that's the main thing that you'd watch it for. There's not too much else.
Yeah.
It's that amazing about it, but it's still nice.
Totally.
And I want to explore the rest of his work as well. I haven't seen the Rush Hour since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm working my way up.
Mm-hmm.
That was childish, man. That wasn't even called for. Now, I came down here to see Junetao because he told me to come down here because I'm his half brother from Beijing. Me and him got the same mama. I'm black and these. We all the same. Oh, hey, man. Wait a minute.
I love what you did with that sample, the vocal sample.
Yeah. Every time I hear that song, it makes me laugh because you notice how it like starts off slow and then it speeds up and that kind of like leads into the sample. Well, the first kind of like crash sweep you hear, I messed up and it's actually up pitched higher than it should be. That's not what I intended, but like when I exported it, that's how it came out. But it sounded good, so I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we'll still release it, and then it worked out. So.
Yeah, nice, man.
One thing
I have a question.
Go for it. My bad.
Do you have like a certain attention to bass, maybe based on your beat making?
Kinda. I've been getting better and better with it. A lot of my earlier stuff, like that song, it's I would pitch up the bass a lot more, but yeah, I guess I do. I don't know how to explain it like over talking. I can be like, oh, here's how you do an FL, but yeah, I guess you could say I do.
Yeah, it's something I sort of pick up on.
Yeah.
You pay attention to it, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of, like, trying to make my bass play nice with the kicks. That's one thing it's always I've kind of struggled with, but it wasn't until recently that I feel like I really nailed it down. But yeah, a lot of my older songs would sound really bassy because I'm trying to get the kick to like match the bass, so you still hear the kick, but the bass was doing funny stuff. So, but all in all, it worked out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I'm just thinking about the bass, the importance of bass in disco, for example.
oh yeah, totally.
And why I like I said before, I'm preemptively about to dance when your intros come on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking maybe it has to do with the bass. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, bass, you feel it in your chest, you know, like kind of like you feel it in your heart. You're just like ready to go. Yeah. So, but yeah, another thing is too, now that I've been doing this, like you'll hear it on Still Groovy more than previously, but one thing I'll do now is in the intro, I'll cut out all the bass. So that way when it does drop, it's more like a, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. One thing I was going to say too, just like slightly earlier was, one thing about me, you'll notice I'm probably going to like talk so much own bad stuff about my own music, but I'm the type of person where I'm like, hey, look, if it sounds good, it sounds good. So that's my whole philosophy. That's my music theory.
Yeah.
If it sounds good, it sounds good. So yeah.
And that's why we have Vaporwave, because excuse me, we have that elasticity or that flexibility for what the expectation is going to be.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
I'm in the, like,
It can really sound like anything.
yep. If it sounds good, it sounds good.
I saw someone say on Reddit the other day, I don't think it was a new post or anything, but just how there's beauty in how when you put on a random Vaporwave album or a Vaporwave song or playlist, you really have no clue what you're in for.
Yeah, you really don't. That's a very accurate
Could
statement.
be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can look at the cover and like, you know what? I think it's gonna sound like this. It just be the exact opposite of what you expected.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, I love that though. I think that's funny.
Okay, let me get over to another question here.
Cool.
I know you mentioned Aeon Member.
Yeah.
I know you were featured on his album Special Funky Feeling with your song When I Fell For You.
Yeah.
So I guess he asked you to jump on there and be featured, or what?
Yeah. So shout out Aeon Member. They're super awesome. What's it called? It was just, we were both in Future Society, and I'm super happy to collab with like almost anyone. Like if you hit me up, I'll probably send you an FL project back like 9 times out of 10. And but yeah, so we were all in the chat and I was like, dude, let's collab. And then like they're probably still the best person I was able to work with. Like it was the equal amount of like, I send them just the arrangement, they would send me back drums, you know, we could send stuff back to each other. We had an equal amount of part in it, but then like the song would come out good every single time we collabed. So I was like, dude, you're the guy. So yeah, they were like, collabing with them was always super awesome. And so yeah, we just, after we made that first collab, it was just like, yeah, dude, let's do another one. The last one was so good. So yeah.
Well, check out that song, everybody. Fucking amazing song. Love it.
Yeah, thanks.
We could play it, but I don't know how many songs we want to play. I don't know if we can play them all, really, right?
Yeah, just play my whole discography. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
That'd be hella funny.
And as far as upcoming work and future collaborations, do you have anything in mind?
Oh yeah. So one I'm gonna release, what is it, in like a week now. I found this person named Wavestyle96, and when I first heard their stuff, I was like, whoa, you are amazing. So I like, and they were in one of the virtual memories and like, dude, you're killing it. And I was like, immediately Twitter messaged them like, dude, no, I listen to your stuff all the time. Like I just found it last week. It's been on repeat for the past week. Like we got a collab. And they were like, I'm so down. So
nice, man.
We have a collab, like our first like collab we finished is coming out on the 24th, I think. And that's a banger in my opinion. If I may, I think it came out really good. But and we're working on another one on outside of that. And then I've been collabing with just a bunch of people. I sent off like so many project files. I dropped another collab with Mari. I don't know how you say the Japanese letters, but it's like Mari, and they're super awesome. And they've been nothing but super cool to work with as well. And yeah, since you know Strawberry, we like started talking about when we planned one out, but we haven't gotten too far along with it. But so yeah, like I'm just talking to everybody. I'm super happy to collab with almost everyone. So
awesome, man. Dope. And do you have any plans? I know you've released some songs in sort of a different style and vibe. to your regular upbeat, high tempo, high BPM style song, like your single "No Worries," for example.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any plans to kind of slow it down and get more mellow with it like that in the future?
Yeah. So one thing I've had in my head about doing for a little bit is I'm starting to get more and more into vapor funk. Like I've become like, as soon as I heard Tupperwave, I've like was an instant like big Tupperwave fan.
Same.
So like just the way they do a lot of their vapor funk, I'm like, whoa, that's super cool. And I think wave style, if I may, they kind of have like, they're kind of going in the same direction. So I've been playing around with vapor funk. I have like maybe like a whole EP's worth of vapor funk songs. And I was thinking about releasing it under the name Vapor Velociraptor, kind of like, you know, the whole Godzilla thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And for the 3D Blast, shout out 3D Blast, for the free samples, I made one of them called West Coast Style, and I play it during some shows. So, yeah, pretty much I'm thinking about doing a whole EP under like a Vapor Velociraptor series under Groovy Kaiju, of just like more vapor funk slowed down songs. And I have like a handful ready to go. I just got to take the time to actually like make the SoundCloud and Bandcamp and all that.
Nice. You totally should. I really like those songs too.
For sure, yeah.
I find it sort of takes a second to get into the pace when you're listening to those high BPM ones, like many in a row. But so that would be really a nice treat, having a whole album like that to just mellow out and really feel the Godzilla vibes.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, if I may too, No Worries is super funny. The only reason why I made it was because I was like, I don't feel like Godzilla Save Earth should be an even numbered album. I was like, I just want to make one more song. I literally made it in like 30 minutes, threw it together, and I was like, cool, let's put it on the album. And it became like, people love that song. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm glad I took the 30 minutes to make that song. Like,
so funny how it works out like that.
Totally. And then
so many people have told that story where the song you put the least effort into is so surprisingly a popular one.
Yeah. And then what's like, even to the point that I played Picari Sweat down in San Diego, and someone
that was sick.
Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was shout out Reese and Michael, or like Uglado and No Genki. They're super awesome people. But yes, a few people came up in Godzilla shirts like, dude, I love your stuff. And so when I dropped, like, the very last song I played was No Worries, and as soon as they heard the dun dun dun, they were like, oh fuck yeah. Like they were like waiting the whole show for that one song, and they were like just lost it. Man. I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's what I mean, man. It's all about those classic songs that you just, a DJ will drop randomly. It's like, oh my god, if you're into the scene, it's like,
yeah,
you can't describe the it's like an inside joke almost, you know, like the people that know the song, it's like, you know it and you know it, and we all share this secret together, sort of.
Yeah, totally.
Among the community. It's like, that's what keeps us bonded, I think, too.
Yeah, I think Fun Tonight is becoming like that that total like, you like Fun Tonight, I like Fun Tonight, they like Fun Tonight. As soon as someone drops it, just everyone's like, oh shit, we all like Fun Tonight.
Yeah, we're all friends now.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? Yeah.
But yeah.
So let's talk about skateboarding.
Oh yeah, dude.
Why do you like skateboarding so much, man?
Yeah.
Did you ever like watch the X Games or anything, or Bam Margera and CKY? Did you get into that?
Yeah. So it's actually kind of funny. I was always kind of into skateboarding. Like when I was a kid, I asked for a skateboard and I would like skate around. But my parents were like, we're not gonna buy you like an actual like $100 skateboard if like you're not actually gonna like do tricks and stuff. So I had a close.
I got an Ash too.
Yeah. So I just skated around Walmart boards from like 7 to like 12, and it wasn't until one of my like really close friends, Raul, they're living in Chicago now, so shout out them. We would play Guitar Hero a lot together, and then one day they were like, yeah, Guitar Hero is nice and all, but I'm gonna go skate. And I was like, well, I still want to hang out, so I could skate too. And I just started skating, and then I was like, oh shit, this is the shit. Just did it, and now I've been skating for like 13 years. So yeah. Still
skating too?
Yeah. They're still skating too. Yeah,
awesome.
I just saw a clip of them on Instagram the other day. Still just shredding.
Man, as a kid, I underestimated how healthy skateboarding kept me.
Yeah, totally.
Like, like keeps you active, keeps your muscles, strong and shit.
Yeah, now that's... I'll go for it, my bad.
No, that's it.
Okay. Yeah, now that it's quarantine, I'm like, oh shit, I got the belly going and stuff. I'm like, oh no, I gotta go skate. But yeah,
my one buddy is saying, like, I keep saying, yo, let's go play tennis, and then he's like, I don't know, man, and I got a lot of work to do.
yeah.
And he hopped on the scale the other day, and he's like, 20 pounds up. All right, breaking out the tennis racket, boy. I'm coming down. Quarantine, man, it's a killer.
Yeah. If I may, too, on the topic of skating, there's like, I could talk about skateboarding forever. I think it's been such like a pivotal thing in my life that like everything in my life was like relates to skateboarding in some weird way. Like even programming, I just kind of see it as like skateboarding just with like code. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
In what sense? Like the way, the geometry at which you approach an obstacle or something?
A lot of the persistence side of it. So like, there's been literal times where I was like so mad at programming, I've like broken phones and stuff. Like, why the fuck aren't you working? But
yeah,
that's the type of person that I am. But yeah, programming is that same like, what the fuck is going on? Why is my brain not doing the thing? So the thing does the thing.
Can't pull a trick off, smash your board, throw it around.
Yeah, and there's also like, I think in skateboarding communities, like, you know, you kind of get your cliques in skateboarding of like, oh, like you got this group, and like they're kind of friends with each other, but then this guy doesn't like that guy. Now that I'm doing more like open source and like, I guess more like public facing, like community based programming, you get a lot of that too. So I'm like, oh, it's just like skateboarding, like, you know, X, Y, and Z used to work with X, Y, and Z, and there was this weird thing that happened and they don't talk to each other. So yeah. So yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, totally. And like, you know, music I think is a big part of skateboarding. So stuff like solo jazz I think was like an amazing experiment of like vaporwave and skateboarding together. And it's like one of my favorite skate videos today. So
nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of skate videos, did you used to watch a lot of those?
Yeah, I used to watch a ton of skate videos. So I used to watch a bunch.
Do you have them downloaded or anything?
Oh yeah, like I have some on DVD too. Like I have Bon Voyage by Cachet. Like they're not around anymore.
There's one skate video with a song at the very end, and I sort of remember how the end of the video was. It was like, I think skating in LA, it's sort of like a sunset, but I could like hum to you the song. I don't know how the fuck I remember it from my childhood. I was like 12, 13, you know, when I was watching this video.
Yeah.
It was my friend's video, so I had to give it back after a couple months. And I still remember this song, and I can't find it. Like I've hummed it into not Spotify, Shazam.
Yeah.
So many times over the years, thinking I can whistle better now. Let me try it again. Like for 10 years, I've been trying to find this song. Maybe you can help me.
All right, maybe. Let's see.
I'm on a quest for the holy song.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, skate videos are so good.
Yeah, for sure. Were you going to hum it right now, or were you going to hum it later?
No, later on.
Okay, I was like, I was like, I've turned up my headphones. I was like, let's go.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, later, man.
Okay, cool.
Our fans don't need to hear that.
For sure.
But so much of my musical palette, I think, was broadened by skate videos, especially like early punk.
Oh yeah, same.
Hip hop as well.
Mm-hmm. Totally same. I think probably for me it was like
Gangstar, for example.
Totally. Yeah, I think for me it was like Guitar Hero was the first one that like really got me into music, but then also the Tony Hawk games were like right after. And my musical like, oh, music is really cool, I should do this all the time type thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Here's a question for a tangent.
Sure.
Tangent for a question. The new Tony Hawk remake, I guess,
Yeah.
What would your sort of ideal couple songs on that soundtrack be, because they're remaking it?
Oh yeah. So I feel a little guilty about this, but I do listen to the Tony Hawk soundtracks all the time.
Nice.
But the thing is, I just have a playlist and I just like let it shuffle. But if I can give like maybe 5, I think definitely like Funeral by Band of Horses should be in there. That's more of a song from Skate, but like if it was in the new remake, I think that's just an iconic Skate song. If I'm not mistaken, Eric Costin had a part to it. I
don't know that song. Band of Horses what?
Funeral? It's like, come here for the funeral.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. And then another one, When Worlds Collide by Power Man 2000, because that's just like a Pro Skater 1 classic. What are some other good ones? You know what? For some reason, might just be a huge personal take, But I would love to see a DJ Screw song on a Tony Hawk game, because for some reason when I skate, DJ Screw just is banging. I'm like, yo, like I have DJ Screw in my Tony Hawk playlist, even though I don't think DJ Screw ever was in a Tony Hawk game, but just it fits so well. So I'm going DJ Screw.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is that? Oh man, there's that one song. I know it you know that one song, right? That one song. It's like a punk song. I want to say it's like Cannonball or something. Yeah, see, I'm terrible with like, I just have a playlist. And then there's this one, I think Paparazzi by Exhibit is like another classic from Tony Hawk. So 4 where the fifth one is, it's that Cannonball song, I think.
Yeah.
If we Google it, we could find it. But yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah, so much incredible music from those games.
Totally. The thing that I like too is I know for the original Tony Hawks it was more like just like what I think Tony liked, but as skate games have gone forward, they've taken songs from like iconic skate videos, like skate video parts, and like made that the soundtrack. So like for example, Funeral was a skate park for like one of the girl team members. Oh wait, also Bomb Bomb by Sister Nancy. So whatever one I didn't know, cut that one out and put Bomb Bomb by Sister Nancy, because that's a classic too.
That's my shit right there, boy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. I've just gone to a tangent of like skate music. But yeah.
No, that's
and
great.
Death Grips. You know what? Fuck it. We should also put Death Grips in there, because when I skate, I have Death Grips on, dude. Like I could do anything. I could break my arm and I'd be like, yeah, sure, fine, we're skating. Like if Death Grips is on, like it doesn't matter.
We're landing this trick today.
Yeah, it's like, you know, even if I gotta break my leg to it, like it's just, we're doing it. I'm too hyped on Death Grips.
Yeah, I can never get into Death Grips. I've tried a few times.
Yeah, dude. My favorite thing, I have a close friend, their name is Ryan, and like shout out that whole crew, Ryan, Josh, and K-Dog and all of them, but I said Josh, Joe, but shout out them. They've been that's another story I can get into. They've been a huge reason why I started making music again, like more consistently. But yeah, Ryan also skates, and like he's a big, like very particular about the music they like. So my buddy Julian, who also huge influence on groovy stuff, actually, just from stuff they do. We're both big Death Grips fans. So we told Ryan, and Ryan was like, "What do you like about noise? like what is it about noise that you like? Because to me, that's all I hear is just noise." And so yeah, I think it's definitely you have to be. It's. And it has its own certain flavor. Like it's just you either like it or you don't. So if you can't get into Death Grips, I think it's okay.
I've tried. You know what I've said? There's another band too, 100 Gex. I can't get into 100 Gex either, and I'll be slain for that, I'm sure, by some of the listeners here. But I don't know. I'm not with it anymore. Maybe. So I was gonna say.
Oh, go for it.
To me, 100 Gex is Crystal Castles combined with Death Grips. So I love Crystal Castles, so I feel like I should at least like 100 Gex.
Yeah.
But not yet, so still working on it.
Yeah. Well, let me know if you come around.
Sorry, please continue.
Yeah. Well, if I may expose myself, one person I've tried hard to like get into bro. Like regularly is Daft Punk, but honestly I know it's very ironic because like Daft Punk is like a huge influence on future funk, but like I love like Around the World and those songs, like they're cool when they come on, but when it comes to like I'm gonna drive across town, like I don't put on Daft Punk, and I've tried, I just can't do it. I don't know.
Have you heard the songs that aren't overplayed? No,
I've listened to like all their albums. Like I want to like Daft Punk. I know it's a weird thing of like why can't I like it? But yeah.
Well, okay, like, I don't feel so bad about it now.
Okay. Oh, real? Oh, what?
We all have our things.
Okay. I thought you were also a Daft Punk. Like, but yeah, because I have some friends that are just like Daft Punk.
No, I love Daft Punk.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
Yeah. Damn it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one.
You'll find someone someday.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
So, I was another tangent here. Do you have anything to add to that last Tony Hawk thing?
I think I'm
I
good
guess
with...
let's keep talking about skateboarding, man.
Oh, yeah.
I want to finish that one off.
Totally.
So in LA, I guess skateboarding is a huge thing. It was sort of born there, right?
Yeah,
in California.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
And so what, you went to skate parks a lot growing up? Did you ever do vert? Do you know? Are you more of a street guy?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that. So one thing is, even though I'm in Long Beach, I grew up in Riverside, Moreno Valley. Super random. You wouldn't know it unless you're from there. But out there, like the cities, it's just more of like a smaller town. So they didn't have too many skate parks and stuff. You'd have to take like a bus for like an hour and a half to get to a skate park. So it was like all street all the time out there.
All street.
Yeah.
Curbs, baby.
Yeah, and it wasn't until I moved to like Long Beach that I started learning like more vert and stuff like that, because I finally had a skate park I could like learn at. So so yeah. But nowadays, like if you drop me, like the biggest ramp I'll skate is like 6.5 foot. But like I have, when I moved in the Bay, this is another super random story I have. I became close friends with a buddy of mine who works on statistics for like Google Maps, and in their backyard they have an 8-foot like big half pipe. Like they just love to skate. So I would go to their house every weekend. But luckily, before I moved out there, they like made different sections that were smaller, and the biggest I would skate is like their 6.5 foot. But I would skate with them all the time. And shout out to the Google mini ramp. Google used to have a mini ramp in the building. Like you could just be taking a meeting and then like, go out and go skate the mini ramp. But they got rid of it. So RIP Google mini ramp for the 1% of people that will get that.
Yeah, that's a great idea though.
Yeah. So yeah, I bring all that up just
too
to
many
say,
accidents.
Definitely more of a street person, but I know my way around vert. If I'm not doing backflips or anything out of vert ramps.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. Yeah. I always wanted to get into vert.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely skate. I'm mostly longboard now, actually, but I've been thinking about getting the actual skateboard back out. I need to get some like grip tape and like re-grip it up.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good feeling that re-grip taping a skateboard.
Totally.
It's like best feeling on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah, and like it feels like a science almost, where it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't describe it. There's just so many indescribable feelings. It's like, it's kind of why skateboarding invented its own language to some degree, because like there's just some things about it that just languages don't apply to.
Mm-hmm.
Like crazy skateboarding. Oh, go for it. My bad. I hope I'm done.
I was just gonna ask, like what, like the lingo?
Yeah, just the lingo in general. Like things like sus. I know that's more like common now, but I only heard that in skateboarding. Hesh is like definitely a skateboarding thing. Yeah, like things like rad, stoked. Just I don't know. There's just something I think different about it, and just all the names of the tricks. Like it's just like, like
Indy.
Yeah, Indy. Oh yeah, Indy.
Yeah,
totally. But on that topic though of like language and skateboarding, when I was in Japan actually, there was just a group of skateboarders, and I was like, yo, look, I got my Family Mart snacks. Let me just watch these dudes skate. And they like saw me watching them, and they were like, oh, you skate? Like they just knew. Like they couldn't speak English to me, and they just passed their board to me, and they were like, you want to skate? And I was like, they didn't say the words, but they gave me that face, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
amazing.
and I was skating with them for like a little bit, and then like we couldn't speak to each other, but like we could speak through skateboarding. It was really weird, and it was like a surreal experience. But yeah.
And why were you in Japan for that trip? Was a business or just for fun? For
a business. I went to like go do a conference for work for like this web framework I worked on, and then they sent us out there for the whole week. But I wasn't important enough in the company where I like had to go do stuff for the whole week. So they're like, yeah, for the first 3 days, just like do what you want. And I was like, oh, bet. So I just like explored as much as I could of Tokyo for like 3 days, just nonstop.
So sick.
So yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, I did like Tower Records. I got to see the Godzilla thing. Got to skate with some random Japanese people. I went to a few jazz clubs. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, Japan was amazing. I'd highly recommend it if you have the resources and can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
I'm trying to plan a trip with a buddy.
Dope.
You have any plans on going back?
Definitely, yeah. I was thinking about going back with a friend of mine, like my college roommate. Shout out Daniel, who actually gave me the name Groovy Godzilla back in the day, if I may.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were the.
Yeah.
Originally, I was gonna be Pixel Beach.
That story.
Just because I was like, oh, I need to think of like a funny, like kind of like cutesy, just the whole like St. Pepsi for Young Bay. I need like something like kind of like that style. And I was like, Pixel Beach, and he was like, nah, it's kind of whack, dude. And I was like, yeah, it is kind of whack. And then I was like, groovy something, groovy that, and he was like, you like Godzilla, why don't you be Groovy Godzilla? And I was like, yo, and then that was that. And yeah, and then I had to drop and I dropped the Godzilla for Kaiju just because I was like, it would probably search the same, and like it has the same idea. So, but what was I saying about Daniel? Shit, we were talking about. Oh no, what were we talking about? Japan. Oh yeah, I was gonna go to Japan with Daniel. Yeah, that was one of our plans, and we're just gonna hang out, shoot the shit. So, yeah.
Well, let me know when you go. Maybe we can meet up.
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably go
at the
like
same time.
Right. I'm probably gonna be traveling a bunch right after the virus slows down because like I have vacation days accumulated now, and like I'm not spending a lot of money like just sitting at home. So I'm like ready to go. Like as soon as you're able to go and like it's actually safe, that's why I'll probably like bounce out all over.
And it's gonna be cheap too.
Yeah, it's gonna be super cheap. So, but yeah, I'll definitely let you know.
Please.
Yeah, and if you want any like tips on things to do, like let me know. I really gave myself the most out of those 3 days in Tokyo. So. I think I know the fun stuff to do in Tokyo, if I may.
Yeah, exactly. So why Godzilla? What is it about Godzilla that you love?
Oh, dude, I've just always been into it. I don't know why. Like, since I was a little kid. Like, my mom had bought me a bunch of Godzilla movies when I was a kid. And my uncle actually stole them from me. Actually, you know what? Let me go on record and say, yo, uncle, I want my Godzilla movies back. God damn it. Yeah. From when I was 6. But, yeah, and like the movies themselves, I don't really know. Just something about giant monsters just like fighting and stuff. It's just cool. Have you seen Godzilla Final Wars? That was probably my favorite one because it's like half Godzilla, half Power Rangers. It's like, what the heck is going on here?
No, I haven't seen any. I haven't seen a single Godzilla film.
Oh, no?
When I was young, I saw like the classic one, you know, but it doesn't really count.
Yeah.
Because I was so young, I couldn't appreciate it.
Yeah, and like the thing is, it's like interesting because like, technically Godzilla's under like the horror category, but like I don't like scary movies, dude. Like they're way too scary. But something about Godzilla, it's just like so far removed from like reality, at least to my brain, that I'm like, oh, this is just like action more than it is horror. But even though you see people running and stuff, I'm like, whoa. But I don't know, just giant monsters, dude. They're giant. They're like blowing stuff up. You're like, oh shit.
Did you ever play Rampage?
Yeah, Rampage. Yeah, I played a
64 game.
Rampage, actually. Whoa, yeah, I
Amazing
totally did.
Game.
I had a Nintendo 64. I'd played that game a lot in retrospect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I always thought you could beat it.
That.
Oh, go for it.
I have the ROM for it.
Oh, nice.
So I booted it up a couple months ago, maybe 6 months ago, when I had a party.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great party game, Rampage.
Definitely. Yeah, I used to play with my friends all the time when I was a kid. The thing is, too, is I thought you could beat it, but then I realized it was like an arcade mode, and like one day so as a kid, I was like, why can't I beat this game? It's so long. And then one day when I was a kid, I was like, oh wait, the levels are looping. I was like, oh, I did beat the game. It's just like, it's arcade game, so it doesn't have an ending. You know, when you're like 5, you don't realize those things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, Godzilla's cool, dude. That's why I like Godzilla, because it's just fucking cool.
If there's one Godzilla film for me to watch, which would it be?
I think Final Wars, just because it's like really, it's really over the top. Like other Godzilla movies, a lot of people that are into Godzilla still are like, oh, there's too much just boring political talking, which like to me, I don't mind it as much. I do agree that it's boring to some degree, but it's like, it's kind of like what you sign up for when you watch a Godzilla movie. But I think Final Wars is like that perfect mix of like action the whole time and then like really pops off in the end with all the monster fighting. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but that's the one, Final Wars. Yeah. And it's more like comedy than it is like action, just because it's like, what just happened? Like, who wrote this? You know what I mean? So yeah.
I'll invite a buddy over and make sure we have a couple beers.
Oh yeah. That's the one, dude.
Yeah. What is the project you're involved in? Assembly Script. You're a team member there.
Yeah. So Assembly Script. Oh, this is gonna be a long one. So put on your seatbelt. So a new thing happened in the web. So you know, in the web, pretty much everything you view is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is kind of like, okay, like the header is here, the footer is here, this is to the side, this is to that. CSS is what makes it look pretty, so it makes things red, blue, or make them do cool transitions. And JavaScript is like, when you click this button, I'm going to go tell this server to go do stuff, and on that basis. And then now there's a new one called WebAssembly, and the whole idea of WebAssembly is that instead of like interpreting things, so like when you run JavaScript, it's like, okay, I'm going to create this variable, done. Now I'm going to go do this. Cool, done. Now I'm going to do that. WebAssembly is like ones and zeros, so it just like feeds it into like a machine. Like you could think of it, I don't know how to describe it, but like imagine just, someone just eating as it goes. So it doesn't have to think about like, I'm going to go do this and then this. It just, just runs straight through.
That's
so
crazy.
What that enables is that if you ever thought about it, how come things like video editors aren't on the web? You know what I mean? Like why is that the case? The case is that JavaScript was too slow to do things like video editing or like advanced audio editing, because it had to do instructions almost like one at a time, whereas in WebAssembly it can just run straight through. So what that's going to be is kind of like the next generation of computing on the web, I would say. So like those heavy tasks like rendering video is now going to be possible inside of a web browser in a way that's safe and secure, that won't like just eat your machine for whatever reason. So
damn, that is crazy. So when do you foresee WebAssembly to sort of start being implemented into standard consumer web products?
So it already is, actually, which is really exciting. Just not like Facebook isn't using or anything like that yet. But there are some apps, like the one that I can think of off the top of my head is Figma. They are kind of like a Sketch or a Photoshop type thing, but for the web. And they use WebAssembly to do a lot of their like heavy computations of like adding filters and stuff to images and things. And I have a website that I built, actually. I'm like so deep into WebAssembly. But yeah, there's a bunch of games. Let me not actually open Chrome, but there's like a bunch of games that are using WebAssembly right now.
Oh, nice.
What's a good example of a game using WebAssembly? So Unity, which is like a game engine, now when you export to the web, it uses WebAssembly by default. So like pretty much any Unity game right now that's playing on the web, that's using WebAssembly, and it does all of its math and stuff for WebAssembly and stuff like that. So it is very new. So it's starting to just barely be implemented into the like engines that generate things that we then use. And some people have to use it for like hyper optimized stuff. So as it grows more and it gets more capability, that's when you'll start seeing it like, oh yeah, I just edit video on the web, because like why wouldn't you? Like it's still like being worked, the kinks are being worked out, and people are just now being like, okay, we should try it out now. So yeah. Wow. And then AssemblyScript comes along because there's WebAssembly is kind of like a common language that all the other languages can use, kind of like an output. Let me think. It's kind of like some developers like using FL to make a music analogy. Like some developers write Ableton, some developers use FL, and but it's kind of like as if you could like exchange stems with like there was a common output that both could play with if that existed in the music world. So WebAssembly is that for the web, kind of. So there's different languages like JavaScript, or not JavaScript. Well, let me take a step back. Like Rust, C++, Go. These are all just random programming languages. But the one that we have been using on the web mostly was JavaScript. So JavaScript can't compile to WebAssembly for very technical reasons. Mostly, for anyone listening, it doesn't have types, and WebAssembly does require types. So there's this thing called TypeScript, which is mostly like JavaScript, but it has types. So then what AssemblyScript is it kind of takes TypeScript, makes it a little bit more fine-grained so it matches one-to-one to WebAssembly a bit more. And then people who are used to writing JavaScript on the web, which is like a lot of people, can now have an easy path into learning WebAssembly and writing these high-performance web applications in a language they're more comfortable with. And I've been a part of that team for like 2 years now. So yeah. And it's starting to, it's doing the thing.
That's incredible, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, yeah.
You're on the forefront of the innovation of the tech that we're all going to be using soon, and we already are. Wow, it's that's I did not realize that. That's incredible.
Yeah, let me not talk myself too high and mighty, but yeah, it's definitely been a blast to like be a part of, and like it's an awesome thing. And there is definitely a side of it where I'm like, oh wow, like I might actually change the web. You know what I mean? So that's exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or at least be a part of it.
Crazy,
so yeah,
man.
Be a part of this change. But yeah. So yeah, a good example.
Well, just a great opportunity for everyone listening to follow Aaron on Twitter at Torch2424. for all the web dev updates, some web dev updates, I guess, on Assembly Script and Aaron's various projects, as well as his music, of course. So let's play another song, shall we?
Yeah, sure. That sounds fun.
What about anime t-shirts?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, awesome. I played it off of YouTube. Just watching the AMV that this, I guess, Emma made this one. It's really nice.
Yeah, I know that one.
It's a really nice AMV, and I was just noticing you have 3 different people making Pokemon AMVs to your tunes. You ever notice that?
Yeah, I do, definitely.
It's awesome.
I guess people are just like, yo, Pokemon, let's do it. I like Pokemon, so I'm like, yeah, I'm stoked on it.
For sure. Yeah. Amazing song. That was off
Thank you.
Got Busy. Yeah, Godzilla Got Busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great record.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, man. Might be my second favorite. My favorite one is Gets Friends.
Oh yeah, dude, Gets Friends is so fun. So yeah, I'm stoked on that one just because it's an entire collab album. Mm-hmm. That was like the whole idea behind it. So yeah, I'm glad you like Gets Friends.
It's a cozy album. Like, it's like when all the characters from your favorite TV show get together in the same universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they used to do that in some kids shows sometimes and whatnot. And you even have you sort of have it here too in the album cover, actually, with like Godzilla, and I don't know what these characters are. I recognize the robot guy. What is he from?
I think it's Ultraman. I'm not looking at the cover right now, but yeah. And then I think, oh man, I always forgot it's like the beetle looking one with the drill arms. That's just a Godzilla villain. But yeah, I guess they all had like a party and the Godzilla costumes and found it, and I was like, cool, album cover.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But if I may, one little tidbit about anime t-shirts that just for anyone who might care. One thing is, when I made Got Busy, in the middle of it, there's like this whole like super flangy like moment. In my head, I used to call those like sample solos, because I was thinking like, oh, all right, like a lot of this is like heavily sampled. What are my tools to like make this my own? And I was like, I don't know, I'll just make a sample solo, or not sample solo, effects solos. So like the idea that you would just play with the effects and make it super trippy and have like this one moment of just like kind of like, yeah, and then you come back to the song and
Right.
So yeah.
I was scrolling through your Twitter and I saw this post by, it's a very inspirational video by Danny Thompson. Do you know the video I'm talking about? Yeah. that was I didn't watch the whole thing. I'm going to do it after, but just what a great video, and like a reality check video almost, It's like, man, I don't have much time on this planet. I better, make use of what time I have, to quote Gandalf.
Yeah. I love that video.
Paraphrase him.
Yeah, I love that video just because, like, it was like, I don't know, programming to me is like, once you're like in it, it's a lot of, it can be kind of dry and boring sometimes, but I'd never seen someone just like so passionate about like, yo, you gotta learn how to code because you gotta make your life better, dog.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Like, it was just hella funny to me because it's just, they were so passionate, and you don't see that very often in tech.
Yeah.
So I was like, part of me was like, yo, I'm like hyped right now. Another part of me was like, oh, this is like just a actually generally good talk. So
exactly. Yeah. No, I need that to kick me in the ass to start learning. I gotta stop doing these podcasts. That's what's taking up all my time.
I'm sorry. I hope I'm not perpetuating the time sink.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I may too, what I like about that talk, I also came from like a low income background, so like seeing more people from that background like making it into tech is like really cool to see.
Yeah.
Especially because people like them, they're like actually on the ground, like, okay, how can we like bring the whole community up? Because a lot of times a lot of area towards like teaching programming isn't those areas, so it's really cool to see people. Yeah.
So how does future funk affect your day-to-day life?
In terms of like
friends,
music habits,
family,
or just
sure, music habits, musicality, interests, people you surround yourself with, your appreciation for life in general, like, I don't know, anything, man.
Yeah. So actually, I have a lot of friends that listen to future funk. Just in general, I don't know, maybe it's an LA thing, which would kind of make sense that like George Clanton was like, let's have Electronicon too in LA. But yeah, a lot of my friends listen to future funk and vaporwave. Not like every single one, but just, I don't know, we kind of all like fell into it together. Like my college roommate's into it. My buddy Julian, he's also into it and stuff. And in terms of like music stuff, I kind of have like this weird, I think it's weird, at least to me, I kind of see future funk more as just like a heavily sampled hip hop, but like slightly faster, which is kind of like what electronic music is, but like that's how I view it almost, and more like sped up soul. So yeah, to me it's just very soulful and it just feels good. So I put on future funk when I want to like get hyped about something, or I just want to feel good about something, or like when I'm driving. Like I'm kind of into cars. I have like an Integra GSR 96, and so let me tell you, driving a Tupperwave and like a stick shift GSR, dude, there's very few feelings that can match.
Yo, that's aesthetic. So, yo, amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think it generally like makes things, it's a really nice way to like stay positive about like just stuff going on, and just yeah. And to me, like, man, going back to the point I brought up, that like, you know what, sometimes as much as music is about like, oh, it's a C sharp that then like drops into G key, that's major, minor, it's also just about like, how does it feel? And like future funk just feels good, and like people make it just sounds dope. And even when you compare the samples, I'm like, yeah, just this one just feels good. You know what I mean? There's like a human part of it that's just like, I think even because being a programmer, sometimes I can get too technical about stuff. So like music, especially future funk, kind of like takes it away and be like, yo, dog, how does it feel though? You know what I mean? So
like Nano Shrine was saying something about that. how like they
Dope.
feed off of each other in a way that's complementary, in that you know, you exhaust yourself with one and then fuel yourself by doing the other.
Totally, 100%. I agree with that. Yeah,
Paraphrasing, of course, but
yeah, like one thing about me is I'll do music like hardcore for like 3 months, and I'll go do programming for like hardcore 3 months, and then once I've like completely drained myself from one, I'll just like, my engine for the other one is like ready to go.
Yeah.
So I have like this push and pull. I'm starting to get better about doing both in like spurts, like smaller spurts. That way I'm like, not like, hey, look, I'm gonna peace out for like 6 months until I drop my next album while I go code for a bit. But like learning how to do them in moderation and not get too sucked into one.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm also the type of person that'll eat like, I know this is super random, maybe it's just my personality, but when I have like a meal of food, and if I have like, let's say corn and like chicken and like mashed potatoes, I'll eat every one at a time. Like I won't like eat a little bit of each. I'm gonna eat all the chicken first, then I'll eat all the corn, then I'll eat all the mashed potatoes.
Every
and
time?
I kind of do that with every time. Like
with
I don't
every
know,
meal?
every meal, yeah. It's not like a conscious thing. It's just like when my brain's like, yo, look, we're eating this one now.
Brother.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're a good programmer. You can compartmentalize.
Maybe, yeah. But it bleeds into stuff like music as well, where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do music for this amount of time, and then I'm gonna do this for this amount of time.
Yeah. Have you ever gotten into Docker? That sounds right up your alley.
Oh yeah, totally. I played with it. It depends. So in terms of like development workflow, I don't use it as much just because I've broken my stuff enough times where I don't need Docker anymore, if that makes sense. Like I've broken it so much where I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do that because it'll break. Then I got to start all the way over. So now that I've broken it enough times, I know how not to break it.
Right.
So I don't need Docker for normal development, but in terms of deployment and like serving my applications, I used to self-host everything, not inside of Docker again. And it was like something I needed to do, but I just never took the time to do it. And I know how to use Docker, but now I'm starting to use a lot of services like, you know, Netlify and a lot of these like static hosts and like Fastly, Cloudflare and stuff, just because like they take the step away from you. So for someone like me that's like, I want to build applications, it gives me more time to build applications rather than like mess around with Docker. So
yeah, exactly. Fumbling with it around to actually get it working.
Yeah,
get
especially
it active,
when like
rather.
Yeah, especially when you're like, oh man, I got to give like all the files to someone for this new album drop, but my Docker is down. Like if I can remove more things I have to do off my plate, the more I can spend towards music or X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So yeah.
True. Yeah, I was wondering if you had any like holy shit moments throughout your Future Funk career since 2014.
Oh yeah, dude, I totally have.
You know, those where you like realize something, how to do something, or you figure something out. It's like, holy fuck, man, I just ascended. My shit's gonna be so good now. God damn.
Yeah. So probably I just had one recently, and it's kind of embarrassing. But so the biggest one as of recently that's come off the top of my head right now. When I first started learning how to mix, I learned from a person who does hip hop, and they were like, yo, dude, like in the FL equalizer, just take all the lows out and take all the highs out. I don't know why you're supposed to do that, but that's just what you do. And I was like, cool, that's just what you do. And then so I've been doing that for a long time in all my music until my buddy Julian, who they actually got accepted in Juilliard back in the day for playing violin, and they played violin on So,
oh, nice.
Yeah, like they're the whole trap mix and stuff. They you know, played violin on that, and but they actually became a programmer because they were like, you know, like music's fun, but want to pay the bills too. But they're still an amazing musician. But what did I bring them up? Oh, I was showing a song to Julian, and they were like, dude, like you have no sub in your song. Like I have this like sub in my house, and like it's not really bumping. And he's like, are you cutting out your lows? And I was like, I don't think so. And I looked at my equalizer and I was like, oh yeah, I did, because that's just how I learned how to mix.
Yeah.
So then I turned it up, and he was like, his sub was like blowing, you know, sub, and he was like, yes, that's how it needs to sound, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, for sure. So I had learned how to mix wrong from someone, did it for like years, and then it wasn't until just recently where a friend of mine who could afford a sub was like, you should like add more sub. And then, yeah, now everything sounds a lot better.
Interesting, and that adds to the sound for sure with the new album too.
Yeah,
to the
definitely.
distinguished style. Yeah.
Yeah, so now that I have a good job and stuff, I have like a sub in my car. So definitely like I'm glad when I was like playing my older stuff, I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. But like when I play my newer stuff, just because I know how to mix it better, I'm like, my whole trunk is like rattling because like the sub is like it's working.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
But do I have any other big like holy shit moments? In general, like just you just pick up small things like sampling. Another big holy shit moment for me was like I mentioned earlier, just adding small little effects. Like, even though the song doesn't really need flanger, put like 2% on it just because it like will make things sound more like sparkly and airy. Another part of it for me too was just making a lot of future funk. A lot of it is nostalgia, and I don't know about you, but for me, all my memories kind of play back to me, and like kind of like a more like saturated, like colors are a lot more brighter, things seem more like dreamlike. So I try to make a lot of future funk more dreamlike because you're kind of reliving that feeling. So I want to help express that and like make things kind of pop more because that's how you remember them. At least I do. So yeah. So adding those small little effects. And what else? Drums. Another big holy shit moment I had when I was collaborating with Wave Style. When he sent back the drums for the song, I was like, yo, those are some nice drums.
Yeah.
Like, what did they do? And looking at it, they didn't do anything special. They just had really good drum kits. And so I started off making music with like, let me just get the bare minimum.
Right.
And then I realized, if you like invest money into like your drum kits and stuff, not like a lot, you don't need to like, I'm going to spend like three G's on drums, but like, look through a lot of drum kits, find ones that sound good to you. And like, it's kind of like you get what you pay for type deal. When you're just like kind of just scraping by, just getting a bunch of free drum kits, you're going to get a bunch of drum kits that sound free. You know what I mean? So now that like, especially because now like Spotify and stuff exists and you can actually like make a little bit of money on the side, not a lot, but a little bit. You can start to reinvest that back into your music for things like drum kits. So I bought a few more drum kits and you'll start seeing that more on my newer music because I didn't find that out till about a month ago. So
right.
It's like an always learning experience. That's another thing I can relate programming to, is that you're just always learning, getting better. So I have a holy shit moment like once a month. That's but I can't remember all of them.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
But and the idea of just general holy shit moments, the biggest one and it wasn't about myself or anything. It was back when Future Society and stuff was happening. When Mo Shop came to the scene, that was insane. I think, the way I perceived it was just because like it was all just a bunch, like all of us were just a bunch of dudes in college, just like let's like flip some old 80s songs and like talk in Facebook group chat and like it'll be fun and people like it. But if I'm not mistaken, Mo Shop was like the first like actual like living off of musician to be like, this future funk thing is this future funk thing is like actually like pretty nice. And I think they were like electronic musicians. So when I heard what's the song, like You Make Me Feel So Good, or the one that's like Oni-chan, when I heard that I was like just like, whoa, that sounds really nice in the intro. And when that song dropped, I was like, okay, we're done. Like future funk, it's done. You know what, they did it. I'm just some college kid, like this person did it. And then it's just funny now because then people like Tupperwave and stuff came out. Oh wait, no, we're not even close to being done. Like, you know what I mean? And you see people doing all these micro chops now. I'm like, oh wow, this, but when Mo Shop dropped, I was like, just the level of like quality and like you could just tell it was a very stark like jump and like, oh shit, we got stuff we got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Raised the bar a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much what they did was like took the bar and like threw it 16 feet higher in the air. It was like, oh shit.
So I saw you have a YouTube channel. You post a couple things on there. One thing I saw I really liked. I saw it a while back, but I was reminded of it when I saw it again. Was your Wii 2018 Wii U Shop channel?
Yeah,
that's a great video.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it.
How come
that was another?
That just like a random idea, I guess. We're like, yeah, I guess I'll make a video because you don't make too many that are like that.
No, my YouTube channel, I don't do anything with it, but So I'm a big Stones Throw like record label fan. Like MF Doom, Madlib, Quasimodo, Kiefer, Knowledge. Like I'm a big like low end theory thing, like low end theory fan. To the point like even when I used to live in the Bay Area and stuff, I I would get homesick all the time because all the music I like sounds very LA, and it's all coming out of Stone's Throw pretty much. So I'm just like driving through like, man, like these beats are so dope. They remind me of home. You know what I mean? But so yeah, Rejoicer was a new person on Stone's Throw, and they dropped that music video, and I was like, it's just that one person like did the little shimmy, and I was like, for some reason I feel like that We Channel Music would go really good behind this. Yeah. And then I made it an iMovie in like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of funny. And I posted to Reddit, and like it got like a ton of upvotes, and I was like, yeah.
There's something.
I am funny.
You nailed it with the combination there.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just a dumb idea I had, and I made it in 5 minutes, and then it worked out. Yeah. Not that I wanted anything out of it, just more that like,
no,
that would be funny.
Great. I'll link it up so people can check it out.
For sure.
And I also noticed when we were talking about skate videos, you made a couple yourself or featured in it, I guess.
Yeah, I've made like 4 different skate videos, like full length ones. The longest one was like an hour long. It was ridiculous. But yeah. So yeah, when I mentioned like wanting to make beats with like my friends that skated and they like started rapping, it was like all those people in those videos. It's just me in high school acting like a fool. So if anyone doesn't like a bunch of high school kids acting like fools, don't watch them. But yeah, those are like great, insanely good memories that like I'm so glad that I have, and especially that I recorded them, because like it just brings back such a wave of emotions of like, that it's just childhood. And like, one thing I always tell myself, and I still do, is like when I have kids, I'll be like, look, you can't skate as good as me. I'm fucking around. I'm not that egotistical, but just be like, oh, this is what I did when I was your age, and like stuff like that. And it'll be cool to like show them, like, I don't know, just life.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Life of someone. So yeah,
absolutely. I made a couple similar videos with my group of friends as well, and I came across it a couple months ago again, rewatched it, shared it with everybody, and it's like, man, I'm so glad we have this to see who we were and how we acted around one another, not just a picture of what we looked like, but how we spoke and how we stood, and how we, I don't know, mannerisms, and yeah, totally, 100%. And that, and just like, it also just maps a good point of like, oh, this is something I used to do, and like you can compare it to your work now, and just stuff that you spend a lot of time on, and like, oh wow, I've just grown so much since then. And yeah, even though it's like, video editing and music aren't like the most closely related, but like just remembering like how much time I spent on that, and like the quality of it versus like, how much time I could spend on music and the quality of that. And it's like, oh wow, you just, I don't know. It's trippy, dude. It's so trippy. Yeah. Yeah, check out Aaron's skate videos if you want to get wacky.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right. What else I got here? Oh, let's talk about if you'd like to, your no sample project, Marquice Turner.
Oh yeah, dude, totally. So yeah, that I started. I was getting really into future bass, so like, or kawaii bass, whatever term you want to call it, and a lot of like Sean Wasabi type stuff. And I was like, I want to do that. And then so I started playing with it, and my music theory knowledge isn't like the greatest, but I learned a lot of like music theory from that, just like chord progressions and stuff. And I'm still not like a music theory expert by any means, but I know enough music theory to be like, all right, I could make like a future bass song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like literally that's the level of my music theory. I know enough to make a future bass song. But so yeah, and keeping it real too, I don't think it came out exactly how I wanted. It wasn't like cute enough, and I'm not the greatest at sound design. That being said though, the sound that did come out of it was more like down tempo electronic, and I'm really stoked with how it came out. Like, I think that was another big reason why there was such a jump in quality from like Godzilla Saves Earth to Still Groovy, was just because I learned a lot more about using FL from making future bass. Not because one's harder than the other. They both require their two completely different skill sets, but when you just expose yourself to making more music, you just pick up little things. So yeah, that, and it was also a lot of fun because I always found it interesting how those kawaii bass songs would have all those like cute samples, and they would all be on beat and they sound good somehow, even though it's just a random collage of noises happening. And I got to learn how to do that. So all those like little random like sounds from video games that just like give you nostalgia, you get to just learn how to like make drums out of those almost.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I'm stoked on that too, because one of the songs on the album is Miata from the Marquice Turner thing. And my buddy Julian also played violin on that one. And the drop is like initial D because we're both into cars. So in the whole Marquice Turner thing, like it doesn't do that well in terms of numbers, which I don't honestly care that much about. But that one song Miata, like it did pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool because my friend and I, worked on that song together, and they played violin on it. And like, the comments are always funny. Like, I don't know why I looked up Miata on SoundCloud, but I'm so happy I did. Like,
yeah.
So it's always nice to see stuff like that.
Yeah. Should we play it?
Yeah, feel free.
You wanna? All right, let's play it. Here's Miata featuring Of the Other Time by Marquice Turner.
Did you know that the Miata is also the only sports car that works on girls? Listen up, put your Genesis collection up on eBay and start saving your laundry quarters for a Miata. Here's how it works.
Yeah, no, that kills.
Thanks, dude.
I love the intricate amount of layers you put in there with the background instruments.
Yeah,
just like
so that's one thing I would mention. Like I was mentioning that progression is one thing I had to learn was just like how do I sidechain like my bass a lot better with my kicks. And because in samples, like sampling I think is a different skill set because it's like solving a puzzle, whereas like if you wanted, like, let's say we have a difference between either making a farm photograph from a puzzle or drawing it ourselves. Yeah. But when you have the puzzle, it's you're problem solving and things like that and trying to figure out how it goes together. Whereas with a blank canvas, you can draw whatever farm you want. So they're both their own skill set and they both require their own things. But from like I guess painting on the canvas, I had to learn well, if I have this like really deep bass line, here's what I got to do. So when I go back to my puzzle building, I'm like, hey, this one sample has a really deep bass line. Here's what we got to do. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm stoked on that song. I'm glad that you also like it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Do you have any plans to return to that project someday?
Yeah, probably.
Nice.
I have this weird problem where I have like so many aliases now where originally I was
Yeah.
actually going to plan on just merging all of them into Groovy Kaiju, and was like, hey, look, by the way, I've been 4 people this whole time, and like I'm just
Yeah.
tired of slogging into 4 different SoundCloud accounts, so just
Yeah.
hopefully the next song I like, you also like this genre of music. But then I realized I had this weird inside joke with myself where I was like, hey, I'll be all these different aliases, and no, it's all me. And so one thing I would do is I have another alias called Aviscerall, which is all my lo-fi hip-hop beats, and I have a song or two featuring Groovy Godzilla. So I featured myself on a song just for that one joke. I was like, haha. So after I started getting more into Groovy Godzilla again, I was like, let me go ahead and actually spend the time to be like, hey, look, I'm not just, these aren't secrets. Like, this isn't like a joke anymore. I'm all for these people. If you like it, you like it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I want to come back to it. I used to do this thing where I used to go in circles. So like, make a Groovy Godzilla, make an Aviscerall, and then make a Marquice Turner. And you go in that order one by one in like circles. But yeah, now I'm just kind of like, I'm just doing what we're doing. And since Groovy Godzilla is doing stuff with like Pacific Plaza and all that, it's like, I'm trying to be, like I mentioned earlier, trying to do it more in like consistent small sections than like, all right, let me just spend the next 3 months of my life dedicated to this one thing. You know what I mean? So yeah. Like for example, with the Marquice Turner, since 3D Blast is that super awesome free sample. Shout out to the whole 3D Blast crew, by the way. You guys are all super funny, entertaining, and just really cool people. But so the last free samples, I did a Marquice Turner type song. Just make sure my chops are still there. So yeah. So maybe we'll see.
Yeah. Nice,
Yeah.
man.
But yeah, what else can I say about it? One thing I think is interesting too, it's another big aha moment is from my buddies. They would come over like by me when I'd be like, hey, I want to try this one genre of music. Like, so for example, I've been making a little bit more like trap stuff. Not that I'm a huge trap fan, but just because I think it's interesting. And they were, as I was trying to learn it, they were like, dude, you're making like trap sounds, but I can still tell it's you. Like the way you do your drums is like the same. So after they told me that, I've been listening to all my old stuff where I'm trying to be different, and I'm like, yeah, I could, like you can kind of, I think at least you can kind of hear how, even though it's like a different style of song, like the drums and things sound very Groovy Godzilla-ish in some ways. Like it's still that very hip-hoppy, like kind of like the whole, like, I don't know, wavy neck bounce thing that I got maybe. But yeah.
Neck bounce thing.
So yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, man. Well, I'm getting close to the end of my questions here. Do you have anything that you wanted to talk about specifically that we didn't bring up yet?
I have one more interesting story that I think would be cool to share.
Please. Yeah.
So with the whole Aviscerall thing, I was just doing that for fun. That's kind of like my original alias, was like just me making beats as Aviscerall, and then Groovy Godzilla came after, yada yada yada. But so yeah, I've been doing a Aviscerall thing for a long time, and I released an album. It was just like, a few people bought it, and it was like cool, and yeah, stuff like that. And then one morning I woke up, and then some person emailed me, and they're like, hey dude, someone stole your beat. And I was like, someone stole my beat? Like, okay, what do you mean? And they're like, here's a Spotify link. Someone just like downloaded your beat from SoundCloud and re-uploaded to Spotify. And but I looked, and someone had taken a beat in which I took a Mario 64 lullabies, like the Piranha Plant lullaby, pretty much re-put it into MIDI, chopped it up, made it kind of my own, where it sounds familiar, but it's a little bit different. And but yeah, they just downloaded the audio like directly from SoundCloud and re-uploaded it, and it had about like 2.5 million plays at the time.
Holy
and I was like,
shit balls.
I was like, what the fuck? So that was another big moment of like, I should make music again, because I was like, I didn't know anyone out there would actually like listen to my music to that extent of like, oh, that's a big number, especially on Spotify. So I argued with Spotify for like the longest time. Spotify did not want to give me that song back. So they immediately took it down, which is nice. But I was like, dude, like what happened to those 2.5 million plays? Like, did the person get paid from it? Like, what's going on? That would be cool. Like if I got the money for it, but even if not, like, can I at least have it back under my name and like yada, yada, yada. And they were like, nah, we kind of don't want to. And I was like, so it literally was just me emailing Spotify like every day for probably about 3 months. And my buddies, I was honestly at a point where I was like, I'm just going to give up on it. Like, it's whatever. Like, that was cool. My song had a nice little like rush. And my buddies were like, no, that's your music. You need to fight for it. I was like, all right, fine. So the same like Denny's crew I was mentioning. So I just argued with them forever, and finally they were like, you know what, fine, sure, we'll just do whatever you want as long as you'll leave us alone. What we're gonna do is we'll go ahead, put the song back under your name and like take it down everywhere else, and we'll re-playlist you on like the official Lo-Fi Beats Spotify playlist, because that's how I got so many plays, was that it was on the official Lo-Fi Beats Spotify playlist. So
the official ones really help generate that.
Oh yeah,
viewership.
So yeah, and the thing is too is I didn't have a Spotify account before this anyways, and that's why the person got away with it, was just because back in 2014 2016 Spotify was just starting, and you kind of had to be like Jay-Z to get on Spotify, and there wasn't no easy way to just go on Spotify, especially because all my music is so heavily sampled, except stuff like Marquice Turner, but like, you know, like just the beats I make and stuff do have a lot of samples in them. Lullabies was like one of the few exceptions, but I was like, whatever. So from that, I like had to make a Spotify account and stuff, and it's all like brand new to me. But yeah, thankfully Spotify was like, fine, we'll just go ahead, throw it under your like brand new Spotify account and like put you back on the playlist. And since then, it's gotten another like 4.5 million plays. So that song is, people love it, and it's like so cool. Because I get people mentioning, like, they'll DM me on Instagram, like, I love that song. And I'm like, I'm so glad. And there was even a time I was at a conference, and someone was, like, opening up Spotify, and they went to the Lo-Fi Beats playlist. And it was, like, a friend of mine. I was like, hey, you know I'm on that playlist? They're like, what the no, get out of here. And, like, I scrolled down super far, and I'm like, look, that's me. And they're like, no way. So it's, like, it's super trippy. But, yeah, that was another big reason to bring it back to Vaporwave, that I was like, oh yeah, I should like probably make more music, because like people out there really like the music that I'm making, I guess. So yeah.
Wow, man.
It's another wild story I have.
Why can I not find it here?
Are you on Spotify? I could send you a link to it.
Sure. I am on Spotify, but I don't pay for it, so maybe that's why. Like, I don't know.
There we go.
Thank you, sir. Oh, that's because I was searching under Groovy Kaiju.
Oh, yeah, my bad. It's another problem with the aliases thing, is that like, yeah, I'm like, hey, I made the song, and someone's like, I can't find it, and yeah, it's because the exact reason. I'm like, oh, it's under my other alias. So yeah.
Nighty nighty. Spaghetti.
that's so nice.
Yeah, thanks.
I like that minimal rework. Very cute.
Yeah, thanks. And people, I guess people really like it. So.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It has that just a hint of specialness to it for some reason. I don't know. There's a couple lo-fi hip hop songs that just have that something extra to it. Like, do you know Saib?
Oh yeah, totally. SAIB
Saib?
period. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. I have all his records on tape and on vinyl.
Oh, dope,
and there's one song. It's you might know it. It's got a ukulele in it.
Mm-hmm.
In Your Arms is the name.
Oh yeah, I've heard it. I've probably heard it.
It's got that music video with the anime. What was it? Garden of Sinners, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just obviously the video helps get the views on that song for sure. It was really well done, I think.
Yeah.
But just there's something so special about that song, and just some of the other songs, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is either. If you figure it out, let me know. Because I totally agree with you, though. There's like some like lo-fi songs that just like they hit nice. They feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think personally,
it's something that's a little bit extra charming.
Totally. Yeah, I think my favorites are like Tompa Beats and Jar Jar Jr. Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
And Astro Black. I know they're my friend, but I just know how they grew, and their stuff is just amazing. I've always been a big fan of them, even though they're my friend. But yeah.
Yeah. Nice, man. We'll link that up in the description so people can check it out if they'd like.
Cool.
All everything you were saying there.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, bro. Do you got any shout outs you want to give?
Ooh, dude. So I do, but I have so many. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's cool.
So I want to shout out Daniel. They're like my roommate from college. They named me Groovy Godzilla, so shout out to them.
Yeah.
They make music too under the name NetNavi. They didn't start making music till about like 2018-ish, but their stuff is like, it's like very few people that like I know start making music, and in like 2 years they're like amazing. And like it took me like 10. Like, how are you this good already? But yeah, shout out to them. Shout out Julian and Alexis. They recently got married. I filmed their wedding. But they're both just amazing people that have been an influence on me and my music. Julian's Of the Other Time. That's kind of like what their artist name is, and Alexis is just Alexis Louis.
Yeah.
But yeah, another big shout out to Nolan, Ben, Casper, like that whole crew of ours. I was super random, but I met Nolan at this open mic, and they were like a big hip hop MPC type person, and
nice.
Ben and all them. But they, I think for me at least, I feel like a lot of future funk that I make has a lot of roots in hip hop, and Nolan definitely was a big influence on me. And a lot of my vinyl hunting too, because some of the Godzilla Saves Earth and stuff is sampled directly from vinyl that I bought on trips with them, going to like Amoeba record store and stuff. So like keeping like the old school way of doing it. And Casper is an amazing rapper and all of them. And then also shout out to Elvin, my buddy, all the Knicks. They'll know what I mean. But pretty much they're in Pablo. They're on this band called Pathala down in Long Beach. And they make amazing, like, it's more reggae, but it kind of has some rock influence too. Not quite ska, but you got to listen to it. I think they're also just really amazing. And they've been also a huge influence on like early Groovy Godzilla stuff, just being their friend. And oh shit, I'm gonna forget someone and I'm gonna feel so guilty, but if I did, I love you. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, I already mentioned them a billion times, but Joe, Josh, Ryan, and K-Dog, because if it wasn't for them to keep me up at 4 a.m. in their driveway yelling at me to keep making music, I probably wouldn't be here right now. I'd be nice, like, man. Yeah, I'm just hanging out. Like, who cares if it has a lot of views? You know what I mean? And yeah.
Awesome. Massive shouts out to them, though.
Yeah, huge shout out to them. And of course Pacific Plaza, because they've just been like so welcoming, and it's just, I cannot wait to see what Pacific Plaza becomes, because I feel like
me too.
It's a great group of people, and a lot of great stuff is coming out of it, and a lot of good vibes. So shout out Pacific Plaza family. You know what I mean? And shout out to you.
Nah, thank you.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm sorry for shout out Tupperwave, 3D Blast, and Strawberry, and everyone I've been making music with and talking to on Twitter. You guys, I'm actually genuinely very big fans of all of them, and like they're such cool people. And Tokyo Wanderer too. See, I'm already it's all coming to me in waves. I'm like, no, I love all these people. Don't let me forget. So yeah,
you just stay up all night, send me a wave file, record all the names.
Record all.
I'll drop it in there.
Wave style,
Yeah.
Super High Titan. Oh my god, dude, it's just so many. Lipstick Ronnie, all of them. Yeah. Zorok Films, they've been huge. I don't know how to say the name. Valter. It's just so many people. There's you know, if I've talked to you on Twitter, I'm shouting you out right now. I swear. Please, I'm not forgetting about you. I promise. I've just been here for like 5 minutes already.
No worries, man. The floor is yours.
Dope. And if I may, actually, Indy, I did have one question for you, if you don't mind.
Of course.
I think people need to know a little bit more about you. If I may, this is my favorite question to ask music people. If aliens came down to the Earth and they were like, what is this human music? What is the one album you would give them? And why?
To encapsulate all of human music ever made in one album? Oh my dear God.
And why?
Oh man. What if I get it wrong and then they enslave the whole human race because they didn't like it?
There is no wrong answer, and that's the best part.
Yeah. Okay. I might have to cut out the giant gap here where it's just me thinking. I got to do it right.
If you want, I can give you mine while you think.
Please, actually, sure.
So, I hope it doesn't influence your answer, but mine would be Demon Days by Gorillaz.
Nice.
Just because I feel like it is such an objectively good album, if I may. Mm-hmm. Just because there's a little bit of everything for everyone. Like, you know, they have their very like gospel-y sections. They have like people like me, your backpack rap hip hop heads. There's a song with Doom on it. They have your more like funky songs like Dare, and even like spoken word, like Fire Coming Out of a Monkey's Head is like more of a story than it is music, but yet it is very musical. And I think because it has so many different elements and they're all really good, and it's, even though it is early Gorillaz stuff, maybe could have been a little bit better, but just because it influences so many different parts of music from so many different places, I think nothing can encapsulate all of human music, but I think it is going towards that direction. So I would be like, here's Demon Days, I hope you like it. You know what I mean? And I'm like 99% sure you will find at least one song that you do like.
Yeah. Oh God. Okay. That is a great answer though. It's anyone could listen to that and be happy with it, you know. Mm-hmm. In some regard, there's something in it for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Still thinking.
Another interesting answer I heard was Motown, if I may. Just my buddy that I mentioned earlier, Elvin. I asked them that, and they said Motown just because it has so much emotion behind it, like in the vocals, and a lot of the music is very soulful. And to him, the question came across as like, oh, like, you know, that has a lot of human soul and emotion in it, so therefore it would represent human music because it has so much humanity in it, just the way it's done. And I was like, oh wow, I didn't think of it that way. I was thinking more like cover your bases, and they were like, no, I want to cover human. I was like, oh, nice. So yeah. It doesn't have to be vaporwave. Don't feel bad. I don't think anyone will hold you accountable if it's not a vaporwave album.
I'm going through like the different genres I was into over the years.
Yeah.
And like the most important one, I'm thinking like going with jazz, like Amy Winehouse or something.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that.
Because it really tells a story of the human condition that goes into creating music. Mm-hmm. Not just the product of what it sounds like.
Yeah.
But if I get to tell that story in like preparation of letting them hear the album, then I would go with maybe Back to Black or something. But
cool.
To You Baby With Love is just so good. I don't know.
Yes.
It has a bit of everything too, man. I don't know. Yeah. It's got melancholy, it's got happiness, it's got different types of instrument. It's I don't know. Because vaporwave does encapsulate a lot of genres in one shot as well. So there's certainly some albums too.
Yeah.
I was also thinking you could do like a Weathersoft album rather of local news networks, and there's a couple albums that have done like daytime radio of different countries and things like that, just to encapsulate what popular music around the world was.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different angles you could approach it.
Yeah. It's very open-ended.
There's an album by the Goo Goo Dolls. I don't know if you ever listened to them, like 90s rock band.
Mm-hmm.
Goo Goo Dolls, yeah.
I've heard of them a little bit, yeah.
Oh yeah, they've got 2 really big albums. One of them is A Boy Named Goo. That album is like really important, I think, to perpetuate the ongoing legacy of popular rock music in America, sort of.
Yeah.
That album's really special to me for some reason.
Nice.
Yeah, I and it's funny, I wasn't really into rock or into jazz that much growing up. I feel like the music I was listening to isn't as important. Like, it's too in the corner,
Yeah.
Like, there's pop punk, there's emo, metal stuff, there's reggae. There's nothing like right smack in the middle. Actually, there's one electronic artist from the late 2000s I think would be great as well, because they sample all kinds of shit from all different eras, is Girl Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Girl Talk?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that guy, he was like really inspiring to me, because I didn't realize what you could do with a sample, like how complex you could make it and how many songs you could mash together.
Yeah.
I think he really inspired people like Madian, for example, or Pogo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you. And one more thing I like to ask people.
Sure.
I flipped. Now it's India interview. Haha. You like what I did there?
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of food? I asked this to Vaporer too when I met them, like just as a random fan. But it's my favorite question to ask.
I like cheese, probably.
Cheese? Just cheese?
Just cheese, yo.
That's cool.
I like exploring different cheeses. You can have cheese nips, cheese Cheez-Its, cheese goldfish. No, like you can have Gruyères.
Yeah.
Gruyere cheese, Dutch Beemster, Applewood cheddar, Mott's. I love Mott's. And it goes on like every food too. You know, I love tacos. Tacos are like number one. Yeah. Give me some of that like green tomato Mexican sauce, yo. I love that stuff.
Yeah, dude, that's what's up.
And I love nachos too.
Dope.
I think
dude.
if there was one like continent type of food style I had to eat, it was forever. It'd probably be Mexican.
Yeah, dude. Same, dude. Totally same.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, even when I like graduated from
Healthy.
college, my mom asked like, "Oh, where do you want to go eat?" And I was like, "Let's go just get Mexican," because like I don't. It's very very rare when I meet someone that's like, "I don't like Mexican food." It's just like it's so universal and it's so good. It's like ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah. I think my favorite
love
is
the
Mexican,
flavors.
So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Nice. Mexican, and then when I'm feeling like for cozy food is Italian food. I love like a stuffed crust pizza.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Deep dish.
Definitely. Yeah, now that we're in quarantine, I've been making a ton of pasta. Just because it's like easy
making
and
your own pasta. Nice.
Yeah, so yeah, I cook a little bit. But there was
nice,
something else.
man. There's nothing better than making your own pasta. You don't eat like it. You don't want to buy it anymore ever again after that, once you figure out the perfect way.
Yeah. Also, did you have to go? Because I could ask you more stuff. I'm super extroverted, and there was like a couple more things. All right, cool.
No, I'm down to keep chatting, man. Let's do it. I'm out of questions. I'm getting a little tired, so I'm not. I'm in my totally a creative state, but I'm happy to keep chatting for sure.
Cool. All right. I'm glad I'm getting the indie interview I've always wanted. All right, cool. What do you think is the best video game of all time? Like, in your opinion? Not like, it doesn't have to be objectively, but just like your favorite, what you think is the best.
Apart from Final Fantasy VII, because I've talked about that game so much already on certain episodes.
Is that your favorite, though? If it is, like, cool.
Yeah, I would say definitely up there.
Nice.
But if it's not going to be Final Fantasy VII, it might be an indie game called The Astronomer.
Oh, wow.
Or, sorry, no, The Swapper.
Okay.
Not The Astronomer. What am I talking about? The Swapper.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like, fucking incredible game. It's like a 2D platformer, sort of like Metroidvania puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
And just the story the developer weaved into it, I don't know if maybe if it was what I was experiencing in my life at that time, what I was going through, but the story just really hit home. And I certainly don't want to spoil it, but if you're going to play that game, pay attention, because there's different ways to play it, I guess you could say. Different approaches to playing it. Very powerful game. Yeah, I said astronomer, so it's it's not a spoiler, but it's about an astronaut on a ship. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, cool.
And I think you can get it for pretty cheap now. It's like $5 on Steam, maybe.
Yeah.
The Swapper, man, absolutely phenomenal game.
Dope.
I still think about it all the time. I've beat it like 2 or 3 times.
Awesome. I'll have to check it out. That's really cool.
What about you?
Oh, I think mine is like an equal tie for Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. I don't know if you've played that.
Oh, nice.
And Breath of the Wild. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
just because they're both solid games. I would probably put Breath of the Wild like actually my number 1 and Crisis Core number 2, but they're both amazing. It's like both games, and the thing I love about Crisis Core the most is that it's such an underdog game, because I remember I'm like super into like like I get excited for E3. Like, I don't know why, but I just love gaming trade shows where I'm like, dude, E3 time, block out the whole week. I can't wait to just sit there and get hyped about games that I know I'm not going to play because I just don't got time anymore.
Watch all the trailers.
Yeah,
I'm just like, gonna be good. For sure.
It's like, that's like my sports. It's like watching E3 and all that. But
yeah.
So yeah, Crisis Core, I remember when it was coming out, people were like, this game's going to be terrible. It's a PSP exclusive. Who's actually going to buy it? And then I remember one review site was like, we were so wrong that instead of giving it like a 5 out of 5, we gave it a 6 out of 5. It's like that good. And I was like, whoa. And then I played it, and yeah, it is that good. So yeah, that's it for me. And then
nice, man.
One more thing real quick. Shout out Nano Shrine. I forgot to say shout out Nano Shrine, even though I just bought his cassettes today. That's another person. Super random, but yeah. Do I have any more questions for you?
No, that's cool.
I think those are my 2 biggest ones. I just like to ask those questions about people because I think it's a lot of fun. And it's different from like, how'd you start making music? It's like, you know what I mean? So,
no. There's also Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, nice.
That's huge for me as well.
Yeah.
Soundtrack and just getting lost in that game when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain songs I'll hear that just blast me off into Banjo-Kazooie memory land.
Yeah, it's so cool. Walking around.
Anything. Anything from Big Shiny Tunes 2.
Yeah.
I was looping that record a lot while playing that game.
That's so funny, dude. Mm-hmm. My college roommate's a big banjo fan.
Yeah.
I just like the banjo noises. Those are so funny.
Yeah, it's the noises. The sound that Kazooie makes when they walk is forever embedded into me. Yeah.
I don't know why it's so funny to me. Yeah, exactly. Oh shit, my bad. Hit the mic. I was laughing too hard.
Oh, it's so good.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Love Banjo-Kazooie. And I've always been trying to relive that, to re-experience that. It's like, that was my crack My first hit of crack was Banjo-Kazooie. Not actually. I played like many games before that, but just the sense of adventure and world building and the different like mechanics and level design and stuff. I thought it was all fascinating.
Yeah.
And but I didn't really like Ukulele, or a Hat in Time was decent. But none of them really came close to capturing that original imagination.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if you can, because I'm super old now. So.
Yeah, my I don't think it's just that. My college roommate was like a huge banjo fan for like ever, and yeah, they tried ukulele and had a time. They're just like, it's just not the same, man. It's just not the same. It's like ukulele like was kind of like reviewed as like it started off okay, and Had in Time I know was like solid, but just not quite there. And see, they're also waiting for that next banjo hit. You know, they need one more, but it's just not coming. So
yeah,
at least not yet. But yeah, I think that's it for me.
Great question.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I could ask you a bunch about
it's
music
all about
stuff,
the
but
games. I love games. I have 4,000 games on Steam.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah.
Nice. That's what's up. Then
I don't play them. I don't play them all. I used to game a lot. Like I was very into multiplayer, very competitive. StarCraft is my shit.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike. You know, all that good stuff.
So if you're into gaming, then I do have questions. What's your favorite console or PC? There we go. Let's ask that first.
PC Master Race for sure.
Oh, all right. And if that's the case,
mouse.
How do you just
pure? Did you ever see Pure Ownage?
Nuh-uh.
Oh fuck! I got a show for you, man. I'll link you up. Shouts out 3D
please.
Blast. I know he likes Pure Ownage. Yeah, like if it's a video game web show.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
Mouse and keyboard, man. If you're playing an FPS, there's no way.
So if you don't mind me asking, do you have any thoughts on gaming chairs?
I think they're cool. You know, I haven't invested in one myself. I think it's easy to get to invest in something that's going to be incorrect. Yeah. And not like the perfect experience that you're looking for, and it takes a lot of trial and error, I think, to get that perfect chair.
Yeah.
I love my chair, so you know I'm good on that. But
nice.
This type of chair it's a very particular kind. I just keep rebuying it because it's like you know, it's 150, and I like the way my back stays straight with it and stuff. But I seem to be leaning too much on my left side because I always just break the left armrest and just shatter it to pieces after a couple months. Yeah. So I got this on Christmas, and I've already duct taped the shit out of it just because I'm leaning to the left all the time with my right hand on the mouse. I have a 20 button mouse, so I don't use the keyboard unless I absolutely have to.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I'm just sitting here vaping, right, with my elbow on the armrest and my other arm like on the mouse, and I guess just months and months of that just fucks it up. So that's part of why I probably wouldn't want to invest in another chair, just an expensive gaming chair, just because I don't know, I sit weird.
Yeah, no worries.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I do. They're pretty cool. The reason why I asked is I have a friend that's like, of the other time, the person playing violin. Just recently we were talking, and they were like hard, like, you gotta get ergonomic. Like, you're doing yourself a disfavor if you get in a gaming chair.
Yeah.
You have to get a Herman Miller or a steel case. No exceptions. And I was like, what? And I'd never seen someone so passionate about chairs before in my life. So,
are they a programmer too?
Yeah, they also write a lot of code. So they definitely know their shit. And the thing is that was funny is they were like, yeah, this chair is rated for 24 hours of comfort. And I was like, you're lying, because you have to get up at some point to go to the bathroom. So who actually sat there for 24 hours? How do they know for sure that's 24 hours of comfort? Unless they cut like a hole in the bottom or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's got this valve, and you put this tube, and then it kicks back, you sleep, it extends.
Yeah, exactly.
Unbeatable.
They find some random person in the street. We need you to test this chair for 24 hours. And if you we'll have you fill out a survey. The survey just says, is it comfortable, yes or no? So, yeah.
One thing I was gonna say is I love PC so much that I wish there were no consoles sometimes, so that I could play every game, because I haven't played Breath of the Wild. I haven't played the new Smash, a little bit, I guess, but I'm really good at Smash, and I want to play, but I don't have a Switch, and I'm not going to get one, because I fucking hate that console for some another conversation.
Where does that come from, do you think? Is it like you don't like proprietary platforms, or?
Yeah, I just hate the dorkiness of the Switch, like all these moving parts, the shitty ass controller, how Nintendo's practices, like they never put their games on sale, the controllers are so expensive, they always will be, they break. I don't know, it's just there's no games I would really buy as well, because most of them are on PC apart from Smash and Breath of the Wild. So but I do have a PS4 because I had to play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh yeah.
That's the only reason I've bought a console since I started getting into PC though. So mostly PC for me. But I don't mind a console, man. They've got some great exclusives. I think exclusives are great for driving innovation. And that's probably part of the reason why going PC only, or computers only, isn't actually feasible. I'm just I just don't want to shell out the cash, basically.
Totally.
But yeah,
I think there's like some interesting things coming out of that, but as much as I don't like it, especially being someone that's like so for the web, is there are some advantages to knowing that for sure something you write code wise is going to run on this specific platform, because then you don't have to worry about like, well, if they're running on like a Mac versus a PC, then I have to like code it this way instead and like handle this edge case, which then just slows things down. So being cross compatible, I think, is kind of the expense of like the console. I think you can get where I'm trying to go, but like so consoles, I think, allow developers to express themselves like as in full potential, but then at the expense of like cross compatibility, and vice versa. Like you don't get as many people who get to try your game if you know what I mean, if you hyper focus it to one platform. So yeah, but there's something else I was going to bring up on the topic of that. We were talking about consoles and games. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh no worries. There's so many games I could mention, man. Like it's really hard to pick a favorite. I do love the Swapper, but I also love other games too. Cuphead is huge.
Oh yeah, dude, Cuphead is amazing. I liked it a lot.
So much love for Cuphead and that developer team.
Yeah. Was Cuphead hard for you?
Sort of, but like I love games like Super Meat Boy and like hard, challenging platformers. My metal album I was mentioning is actually called The Platformer.
Oh, nice.
And that was the name of a band I used to have and be in, but now it's the name of that album. And I've always been quite good at platformers, just from Mario and whatever. And I perfected that game.
Oh.
Like I have like the top speed scores, not in the world, but it's really high up there. I haven't really met anyone or seen anyone that's better. I'm not looking for that, but I do sort of pride myself. Like I took the screenshot, I sent it to all my gamer friends. I'm like, what's up? Nice. Try and come close to that, guys.
Yeah.
Some of my friends have that sort of competitive attitude with games like that. There's another indie game called Nimbus.
Okay.
Came out in 2010, I think, something like that. And that's a fucking frustrating game to challenge your friends, because it's all about like the scoreboard. I like the scoreboard games. Yeah.
One thing I found. So I remember what I was going to say. I also own a PS4, and the reason why I bought it was for Kingdom Hearts 3, because I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was a very interesting case in video games, because that game was like being made for, I think, 10 years, just 10 about. Years, like it was in development for like a decade. And then when you played it, it was a good game, but like there were so many like loose hanging ideas that you were like, oh yeah, this game seems like it was in development for 10 years, because like it was trying to do so much, but like didn't really like land on one of them.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really interesting game.
I actually didn't play that because I didn't want to contaminate my experience of Kingdom Hearts, like the universe. I've played Kingdom Hearts 1 maybe 4 times now. I really love that game.
Yeah, dude.
And I played Kingdom Hearts 2. I got halfway through and I couldn't take it anymore. So I was like, you know what? Kingdom Hearts 3 is not happening. And I played it before, like in anticipation for 3. I knew it was going to come out a few months later. And then I was like, well, I guess I'm going to save some money there. So that's good.
Yeah, nice.
I don't know. It got too into the stuff I don't care for with the story.
Yeah.
With the writer, I forget his name, and that's why I have reservations about the new Final Fantasy VII as well. And I'm sure you're aware of what happened there. But yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't know you were super into games like that.
Yeah, I don't talk about it too much. You know, I don't really. I don't know. It's not a show for me, right? It's for everybody else.
If I may, then
I support indie games like way more than I do AAA. I'm kind of difficult in that sense. When people want to play games, they're like, "Let's play this new, like that new Ubisoft game that's beta right now."
Oh,
I forget what it's called.
I don't know the name
but
of it.
It's like it's very similar to Apex.
Oh, okay. Oh, Valorant? Is that what it's called?
No, not Valorant. It's newer. It's by Ubisoft.
Okay.
And they all want to play it, and I'm like, let's play some co-op stuff, explore some indie games. Come on, I don't know. It's just another beta of another AAA game. It's gonna be fun, but I don't really care about the people that are making that because, I don't know. They can do it easier, more easily.
Totally.
I don't know. I don't care about investing my time and money as much if it's not gonna offer me something completely different. I'm getting sort of sick of battle royales, so
yeah,
I don't know.
That's one thing I also really value about indie games. I don't know if you watch YouTube channels like Extra Credits and stuff that really focus in on game design.
I love Game Developers Toolkit. That's my number one.
That's another great one.
Best channel, yeah.
But one of those style of game design channels, they mentioned a good point, is that in AAA they kind of have to cast the widest net so they can make the most profits.
For sure.
But for indie games, what they can do is give you a short-lived but hyper really good solid experience, because they don't have the same number of resources, but they can, you know what, I have this weird mechanic idea, let me just make it, just go all in on that one idea, and it'll be short, but they can really be a lot more explorative and go 100% on one idea and see how it goes because of just the style of the development. But if I could bring things back into the theme of things, what's your favorite video game soundtrack, or what video game has the best music in your opinion?
Apart from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, oh my bad.
I really love the Donkey Kong Country series soundtrack. If I can cheat and use 3 games instead of 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music in those, David Weiss, man, incredible composer. We've all heard Aquatic Ambience a million times as Vaporwave fans.
Yeah, I
really, really love Donkey Kong.
Hell, dope. Yeah, I think even now that I'm remembering, I think you mentioned Aquatic Ambience in the Blue Screen podcast episode.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, something about it. But I think for me, I think Kirby music is just banging every time.
I love Kirby.
One of my favorite
music.
memes is a DJ
Dreamland.
about to drop a Kirby song, and he's just everyone just loses their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
oh no, wait, never mind. That's Zelda.
Yeah, and if I may, another thing about 3D Blast that I really, really like is that when I first started listening to 3D Blast, there were so many things that they did that I was like, fuck, why didn't I think of that? That's another, I guess, oh shit moments, because I played the shit out of Sonic Adventure as a kid, but I never for a second thought, let me just throw in those little Sonic in the song, but 3D Blast, which I guess this brain just was on the other side of the things and just killed it, and I'm like, dude, why didn't I think of that? Dude, you're killing it, man. So
yeah, he's so creative like that. That's
totally
awesome.
And so yeah, and I guess like a lot of like Sonic adventure music, like Escape from the City is like super dope. And like the Knuckles rapper, like I listen to that music like regularly. Like I'm like, yo, Knuckles is a good rapper. So it's all video game music though, but yeah.
What else do I love the soundtrack for? Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery.
Oh yeah, I played that.
That's another indie game. Yeah, great soundtrack. Have that on vinyl. Star Fox.
Oh yeah, Star Fox is good. Oh, you get that, man. I'm glad you mentioned that. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
Oh,
I see. Yeah. Take it, man. It's all yours. Right, cool. Enjoy.
Well, that's actually a really good idea.
Oh, Super Mario RPG.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
That music, it's just fucking. Oh, and Super Mario 2 Yoshi's Island. Both of the soundtracks for those games. I don't know if that was the first Mario, Super Mario World rather, for Super Nintendo. Yeah, loved it too, but it didn't move me as much as the soundtrack for the second game. The ending song, when the stork is flying in the night. I don't know if you remember beating Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island.
No, I never beat it. It's hard. When I was a kid, I was like, this game is hard.
Yeah, I beat it a few times, man. You got that's why I got the top score in Cuphead, right?
Yeah, so the reason why I brought that up to you was just because Cuphead wasn't that hard for me. But yeah, I mean, I think you're on a different level. So
got an A+, bro.
Like, yeah, you just did it blindfolded. You're like, yeah, you know.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Did you play Super Meat Boy?
Yeah, I did.
So you know how you have to collect the bandages? So I'm always, when I play these games, part of what I do is I won't go to the next level until I get the perfect time. Like I can't beat the level any faster, possibly.
Yeah.
I'm not a speedrunner. Like there's people that are way better than me, but I have to do that, especially if gonna be able to compare my score with friends.
Yeah.
And so when I started playing that game, because that was my way of playing, I wouldn't beat the level until I wouldn't move to the next level until I beat it. So you know how you can restart quickly? Like some games have just a button you press and they'll just let you restart the level quickly so you can try again.
Yeah.
So I played like the first 3 worlds of Super Meat Boy and collecting the bandages before getting to the finish line to get to the end of the level. And in order to get the high score, you have to collect the bandages and get the best time. So that's what I was trying to do. I was beating my friends' times in Super Meat Boy, but what they were doing was just going straight to the end of the level and not getting the Band-Aid. Yeah. And I was getting the Band-Aid first and beating the level faster than they could just beat the level. Yeah. Because I thought that's what you had to do in order to beat it, because I never just beat a level without getting a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Because I would just restart it every time, so...
That's super funny.
That was a funny story. Yeah,
that reminds me really well. I took a jazz history course in college, and like one of the best jazz pianists, Art Blakey. I think. Wait, no, Art Blakey's a drummer.
Oh yeah,
they're just like a best jazz pianist, and they'll come up. But yeah, it's kind of like a similar story in which they would get those like player pianos where the piano will play itself and show you how to play a song. Well, they would get piano players for like 2 people, but they thought it was for 1 person, so they just got really good at piano because they didn't realize there was an extra step that they could. Yeah, so it's kind of similar to you, where your friends were like, "Oh, like we're not collecting the bands." You're like, "What? I thought you had to." So yeah,
exactly.
And they got ridiculously good because of that reason.
Training at 1,000 times gravity.
Yeah. Did 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and a 1 kilometer run every day, or 10 kilometer run, whatever the One Punch Man thing is.
100 push-ups. Yeah. Yeah. What else has great music as a video game? Ni no Kuni.
Oh yeah, Ni no Kuni.
Fantastic music.
Yeah.
Studio Ghibli. Anything they put out is great music. Bastion.
Oh yeah.
Another indie game. Phenomenal music in that as well.
For me, I think Kingdom Hearts. That's probably another big one for me. I'd like
Yes,
that's another soundtrack
dearly
I'll just
beloved.
put on in the background.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just like, yep, this is it.
Oh yeah, the theme song too.
Oh yeah.
Or is that Dearly Beloved? I think it is Dearly Beloved.
Yeah, it is. I learned it on
But,
piano recently, actually.
Yeah. That song too, I would just leave my console on and just let that song play.
Yeah,
It was the menu song.
totally.
Fucking such good music in Kingdom Hearts. Sonic also has great music too,
Yeah.
man. Sonic CD. Dude, the music in Sonic CD.
Yeah.
I hope Randy's listening so he can give me the nod on that one. But I think that might be the best soundtrack in all of Sonic. Hot take.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how Sonic is like, they weren't afraid to get things bassy. Like, they're like, yo, let's get some like growling basses in like this speed game. Totally.
Yeah.
Are you in?
Yeah, man.
On the topic of that too, one thing I find interesting is like a lot of chiptune, like take music, like take a console's music.
Yeah.
Like this is like has nothing to do with vaporwave or anything, but another oh shit music moment for me was when I found, oh man, like Neon Step, I think it's called, by that's, oh man, they have a name similar to Mo Shop, but it's not Mo Shop. But just look up Neon Step. But pretty much someone made dubstep on the NES, and it's just like ridiculous because like from a programming perspective, I know there's only like so many sound channels, but they were like, hold my beer. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. So yeah. So shout out Chiptune as well, because they like really take video game soundtracks to a whole nother level, I think.
Oh yeah. Love me some chiptune. Little Paw. Been getting back into Little Paw lately. Grimecraft. Love Grimecraft.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really into
Coral Mines. Do you know Coral Mines?
I don't.
Fuck. If you guys like chiptune, check out Coral Mines, man. This guy's doing so much like interesting things with his music. He's doing like metal chiptune.
Oh, nice.
And not in a way that would make you turn away if you don't like metal. Just so many cool, a lot of Vocaloid stuff in there too. Yeah, really love Coral Mines. What else? Yeah, Little Paw. Little Paw is fucking dope.
Nice.
Shirobon. I mentioned Shirobon a lot. You know me. YUNOMI.
Dope. Dude, you're like in it. I didn't know. Dope.
Oh yeah, that's how I got into Vapor. It was through chiptune.
Oh wow.
I used to think Vectroid was chiptune.
Oh, huh. Interesting.
Yeah, like when I would download music and organize it into my folders.
Yeah.
In my chiptune folder, I still have a Vectroid folder in there. Yeah, like
Nice.
I know I there's not much in here. I remade it with the full collection in my Vaporwave directory.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, Slime Girls! Shouts out to
I was
Slime
gonna say,
Girls,
I'm a big
man.
Anamanaguchi and Slime Girls fan.
Yeah, Anamanaguchi. That if there's a record I would have to show to the world to the aliens rather, Endless Fantasy would be up there for
Totally.
sure. My Anamanaguchi, and their new record USA is phenomenal.
I haven't checked it out
If you
yet.
haven't
but
checked
I'll
that one
check it
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, some really good songs. There's a singer on there too. I could have sworn it was Lauren. What's her name? The girl from Churches.
Oh, I don't know their name, but I know what you're talking about. I listened to Churches before.
Yeah, she sounds so similar to that girl, but it's actually not her.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever want to chat chiptune, man, I'll be right there. Oh, Boy Without Batteries. Shouts out Boy Without Batteries.
For sure.
Everybody check that guy out too. Oh, you know him too?
No,
Nice.
I said I'll check them out. Like, yeah.
Oh,
I will
nice.
check them out.
Disaster Piece.
Oh, I
Dude,
know
how
Disaster
can I
Piece.
forget
Yeah.
Disaster Piece?
They're rad.
Yeah, OG. Yeah, OG shit. And what's great about chiptune is there's so many different people making it in different ways. Some people using LSDJ, some people just using a DAW, some people using all kinds of wacky, crazy shit you would never think of.
Totally.
Unicorn Kid as well. Shouts out Unicorn Kid.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, it's so cool.
I'm pretty sure they're... yeah.
So, also, I just remembered another question I really wanted to ask you. What's been your best concert experience?
I think my first one was pretty big. It was Weird Al Yankovic.
Nice.
Yeah. He did... it was right before his Running with Scissors album came out, so we did a few singles from that, but it was mostly the Bad Hair Day.
Yeah. Nice.
With Amish Paradise.
Dope. Did I say first or best?
Yeah, that
did I say first or best? My bad. Okay,
best,
cool. Yeah,
but
best.
It was my first because it was just so profound. Mm-hmm. And that like set me up for my musical like love in part. Like I didn't play any instruments yet or anything, but I was like, wow, this is what a concert can be. Like it was hilarious, you know. Like it can be comedic and lighthearted.
Yeah, dude, totally.
And you can actually like interact. Like what I knew of concerts was like giant, huge festivals of like the tens of thousands of people, and like not being able to get to the bathroom, and just, you know, not something a kid, like, I don't know, as a kid I was kind of like anxious and shy and stuff, especially before like high school. But once I got to high school, I was like the most obnoxious kid ever. Like you didn't want to be around me, I bet. But yeah, first Weird Al. MXPX was huge. That's a punk rock band. That was my first punk rock show. They actually have a song called Punk Rock Show, actually. Great band, and that taught me that you could be an incredible musician. I remember their drummer Yuri was just continuing a drum roll on a snare. Like he went for like 10-15 minutes while the singers just talked, and they were like, yeah, our drummer Yuri. I remember this concert so well because like I must remember it super well as an indication of remembering his name, because I know the musicians' names before that. Yeah. And I didn't know after that either. I just remember from that one time. And mosh pits I was introduced to, crowd surfing.
Nice.
All of that, like just seeing people do it. And that really set me up for like going to things like Warped Tour, for example. Yeah, I was really like a ska punk rock kid.
Nice.
For a lot of my childhood.
Oh.
Great questions.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I find it interesting. Just like concerts are...
What about you?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, so this is one of my best, but on the topic of like learning how to mosh and stuff, I think everyone has that moment where they learned how to mosh. I was at a System of a Down concert, and I was with my buddy Kevin and Ken and Tara, like I mentioned. They're like family to me. But yeah, so they were up in the front. For sure. As soon as like System went on, it was just like ridiculous. And like I got pushed completely to the back, like super fast. But then I was just standing in the back, like kind of like, oh man, I gotta find him. And I was looking for him, and I bumped into this one guy that was like, dude, you look lost. And I was like, and he was like just ridiculously high. And he was like, you look lost. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, come with me. And he brought me to a mosh pit, and I was like, I want to go in there. And he was like, trust me, dude, you'll be fine. And like just let me in.
Come with me.
And then I just moshed that entire System show, and I was like, this is dope.
Yeah.
So
yeah. You got to be careful though, man, especially in the metal shows. Yeah. Got to protect your rib cage.
Yeah, there's like a different level of like how wild moshing gets. There's like, you know, there's like, I think System is like pretty wild, but once you get into like death metal, then it's like you could really hurt yourself. The most wild thing is in college in Long Beach, they have the Queen Mary, which is like this historical ship from back in the day, and they used to hold death metal festivals on it like once a year. And so I went with one of my college friends, and it was wild. The most wild thing I saw there was that, so they had these giant metal pillars, and while someone was playing a show, the dude was just banging his head against the pillar until his like face was just covered in blood, and then just took a nap after.
Holy fuck.
I was like, is that guy okay? Does he have a concussion? But yeah, just like...
Yeah, is that a nap, or is that...
Yeah.
a coma.
Yeah, and there was another one where like I was at a
damn.
mosh show and I saw someone get punched and like they were gonna fight each other. And the guy was like, "Dude, I'm just moshing," and he was like, "Oh, okay, my bad," and like that was it. Like, thought they hit him on purpose.
Yeah.
Needless to say, my friend broke their arm.
Yeah. The aggression can be up there.
Yeah.
One of my first Warped Tours when I was teaching a friend how to mosh was during one of my favorite bands ever, Funeral for a Friend.
Nice.
A British metal band, like kind of melodic metal, not too in your face, very nice choruses and whatnot, incredible singer.
Mm-hmm.
And as like they just went on, I was like, oh my god, we gotta get in there, this is how you do it, follow me. Yeah. So I'm like really good at getting through the crowds, and I get into the mosh pit. I'm like, okay, stand like this, guard your ribs, and run around. We're all gonna go into a circle, and like all these things. And first song ends, and he's like, wow, that was crazy. And then he's like, thinks he's all good now.
Oh.
And he's in front of me. Next song comes on, he just throws his arms back and elbows me, cracks me in the nose.
Yeah.
Blood goes flying everywhere instantly, like all over people, all over me. I can't see anything because there's blood all up in my eyes and everything. I'm on the ground, like in the middle of the mosh pit, looking for a piece of paper or something so I can wipe my eyes because there's just so much shit. My shirt is covered, trying to like stop the blood from my nose and shit. And I didn't get to see the fucking band, and that was the only time they came to Canada.
Oh, dude.
My goddamn best friend.
So
I should
sorry.
never have taught him how to mosh.
Yeah.
Apparently I was a bad teacher, I guess. But I'll never get to see them again. They're broken up for many, many years.
dude.
I still sing their songs every day.
That's a good story. I like that story. I mean, I feel bad for your experience, but that's a good story.
Yeah.
So on the topic of concerts, the best one I think I've been to though was Thundercat and Flying Lotus. I'm a big Thundercat fan, and I'm also a big Flying Lotus fan. But like, it was the first time I'd seen Flying Lotus live, and I didn't realize how big a fan I was until I was like, I know every single one of these songs, and I love it. Like, it was just like some people just play live like 1,000 times better than their recordings, and their recordings are already good. And Flying Lotus is definitely one of those people. And what made it even better, so like even just that made it the best concert ever. But on top of that, Hannibal Buress showed up and did a surprise comedy set in between sets.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was super random. Like, it was just like you were hanging out waiting for Thundercat to come on, and then Hannibal Buress just walked up and was like, haha, what's up? And we were like, what the fuck? And he did a set, like a comedy set, and it was great.
Nice, man. Oh, that's awesome. I've been to a lot of concerts, man. Like, I don't know, 500 to 1,000 maybe. Like, I used to go to maybe 4 a month for the past maybe 10 years or so, 15 years. A crazy concert goer. I've thrown many concerts. I've played concerts. Yeah, I don't know. I just, that's my jam. I'm finding a lot of my friends that I would normally go with aren't going as much. And I do have a new community of people. I run this Toronto prog Facebook group with like 1,000 or 2,000 people in Toronto, and some of the best musicians in the world are in that group, actually, like guitarists. It's a very guitar heavy group, like, you know, prog metal. And but I just don't have as much of a connection. You know, they're great people, but there's nothing like when you and your best friend know all the songs, you know. So I don't have that as much anymore, but yeah, man, a lot of crazy stories.
Yeah, when
concerts.
I was working at Google, I think I might know one person that might have you beat. Is one of my coworkers. They lived in San Francisco, and they went to a show every single night. Like, I think the only time they didn't go to shows were like Christmas and like Thanksgiving, but they would go every single night.
Wow.
Like, they didn't care what it was. Yeah, like every single night. Like, after work, they would just go to a show.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they made it like a point that like every night, and they were super into music. And we definitely had some really interesting conversations about music. Yeah, shout out them, dude. Shout out Erwin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Right?
I wonder how you have time for anything else if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're into music.
So yeah, I think that's all the questions I had. Unless there's anything else. I'm glad that I found out you like games so much. That's awesome.
Yeah, man, I'm down to play if you want to play some stuff.
Yeah, I usually play Smash and Rocket League.
Oh, dude,
playing.
I'm trying to get better at Rocket League. Did I message you? Yeah, I did. I thought. Yeah, man, fucking message me, bro. I'm like,
for sure.
I'm like low gold.
Okay. Yeah, right. I just hit champ in Rumble, which is pretty
Nice.
funny. With my buddies NetNavi, who named Groovy Godzilla, and my other buddy Julian, who plays the violin.
Yeah.
We have a crew going. And the Rosewood Cats, I've been playing a lot of Rocket League with Dan Soko and DS Dude.
Mm-hmm.
On the Future Funk side of it, I'm playing a lot of Rocket League with Happy Cola. Happy
Nice.
Cola is ridiculously good at Rocket League. Let me just put that out there.
Wow.
If anyone listens to Happy Cola, that guy knows how to play Rocket League.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to play sometime.
For
I
sure.
think that would be a blast.
I feel like I could get up there pretty fast if you just show me the little tricks.
Yeah, it's all about rotations. It's just making sure, just being like spatially aware of where your team is and where you should be in relation to them.
You know, up in Canada, we play hockey all the time, eh? Like from birth, we pretty much play as soon as we're about 3 years old. Or Pop and Mom strap those skates on us right away, bud.
Yeah. Speaking of Canada, just on topic of music, at my last job, I had a friend from Toronto that I used to work with. Shout out Nick. And I was like, I could make a beat out of anything. And they were like, all right, can you make a beat out of the Canadian, I think, Friday night, like theme song? You know,
Yeah.
like the Canadian Hockey Night. So I totally
Hockey
had like
Night in
a song
Canada.
out there where it's like a rap beat out of the Canadian Hockey League that I sent him. And he was like, dude, no way.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. But yeah, when do
Gotta
you
dig
play
it
Rocket League? I can, I know the time zones might make it a little weird. I play at night, so I don't know how late you stay up.
Yeah, just hit me up, man. I don't really play I don't know. I have friends that I have played with, and I'm the one that wants to keep trying to get better, but they've kind of hit that ceiling,
Yeah,
But
Okay.
yeah, anytime, bro.
for sure. I think Sunday I might be free if I'm not Wait, Sunday I might be on the 3D cast. I'm pretty hyped about that.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
You should.
So I think I'm gonna do that, and after that I could probably hit you up. So let me figure out how the 3D cast stuff works, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, man. I'll be around. You know it.
For sure. Dope.
Couple games here. Actually, I just want to shout out before we go. Indie games.
Yeah.
Wander Song.
It's a gaming podcast now. Let's do it.
Wander Song.
All right.
Check that game out, man. Absolutely fucking incredible.
For sure.
Undertale.
Oh yeah, Undertale.
Probably heard
I mean,
Undertale.
That's a classic now.
Yeah, definitely play Undertale, everybody. Transistor.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Incredible love story indie game that's in like an action, like hack and slash sort of game with a really cool female character. Phenomenal game. Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah.
If you like
that's a
games
classic,
like Earthbound or Oregon Trail or Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley is right. Or Pokemon. Definitely check out Stardew Valley. It was made by one guy, I think.
Eric Baroni.
Yeah, right. 4 years it took him, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Give you a couple more here.
If I may give a shout out, there's one person on Twitter that I've been friends with over time, and they just dropped their game called Treachery in Beatdown City. It's a really nice indie game where the whole idea of it is that it's a fighting game, but it's turn based. So once you hit the initial punch, you then get to choose I'm gonna uppercut and do this X, Y, and Z. So instead of having to remember a bunch of wild combos, once you start the engagement, then the combo is based on a point system. So it's half fighting game, half RPG. It's pretty interesting. I like it a lot.
That's a great concept. What's it called again?
Treachery in Beatdown City. So shout out them.
I'll definitely play that. I love fighting games, yo. Oh, it's on the Switch.
Dope. Yeah, I think it also should be on PC. I think it's on a bunch of different stuff.
Holy shit, that's awesome. Oh yeah, it looks like Streets of Rage sort of style.
Yeah.
Nice, man. What else we got? Owlboy. Incredible.
Oh, yeah, I haven't played it, but it looks great. I just haven't taken the time.
Yeah. Moonlighter.
Oh, I've heard of that. Wait, no, I've heard of Moonlight. It's like an RPG Maker game, I think it is.
No.
Okay, well then I'm thinking of the wrong one.
Yeah.
But I'll still check it out though.
Yeah, Moonlighter.
Shout out them.
It's an action RPG, like roguelike game.
Nice. I love roguelikes.
Mark of the Ninja. That's a bit older, from 2010, I think, but still an absolutely fucking phenomenal game. That was quite groundbreaking for an indie game at the time too. I think inspired a lot of other indie games. Inside, another indie game.
Nice.
This game is interesting because it's a different way of telling a story through a video game. That's something that really neat that games can do. Is you know, you have infinite freedom on how you want to tell your story, and these developers captured it in a phenomenal manner that I don't think has been touched yet in an indie game since. Like that might be the best, most impactful way to tell a story that I've seen in an indie game.
Dope.
That one was Inside. And let's do one more.
So, in addition to your one more, can I shout out Nuclear Throne? That was probably the last game I played that I really got
nice.
into. That was indie.
Nuclear Throne.
Nuclear Throne.
Yeah. Nice. Let's do so many. I want to make sure it counts.
Uh-oh. So many good indie games.
You know what? I'm going to say
Drum roll.
Wizard of Legend.
I'll have to check that out. That's the one that counts.
Yeah, it's another like hack and slash sort of side-scrolling RPG. Most of the games I like are sort of that style. You might have noticed a pattern. Yeah, great game. Also, it's multiplayer as well. If you have a friend you want to do some couch co-op with.
Dope. Yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone wants to game it up with me or Torch, you should hit us up, yo. Play some indie games. Got some co-op games going. Maybe we'll get a whole Vaporwave Rocket League game going. That could be fun.
We'll have the Vaporwave Rocket League. We'll just have tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah, the ladder.
Totally.
I'm writing it down. I'd love to have a fighting game tournament too, if there's any fighting game players out there.
Oh yeah. I know 3D Blast and I talk about Smash time to time, but I know 3D Blast is more into Melee and I'm more into Ultimate. Yeah. Or Randy.
Yeah.
I keep
Yeah. Yeah. On other games too, like Smash is great. I don't really have it though, right? So
Yeah.
Dive Kick is great. It's cheap.
Oh yeah.
Skullgirls, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, it's just BlazBlue, Guilty Gear, the anime style ones. Dragon Ball Z, that Fighter Z, that's a great game too.
Dude.
I'll play all of those games, yo. Just hit me up.
Yeah. Yeah, Street Fighter is my game, my fighting game of choice other than Smash. My more traditional one.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, we gotta play.
For sure. You'll probably beat me. I'm not like
Can't
amazing,
wait.
but I
No,
know
I
enough
suck.
combos to like be dangerous.
Yeah, I know. I suck, man. It'll be fun.
For sure.
All right. Well, I think we've made everybody sick of this episode, and they've probably all turned it off by now. So, but no,
thanks for having me again. I super appreciate it.
Yeah, no, anytime. It was great getting to know you and getting to hear your voice, and hopefully we can actually get together for Electronicon 3 or something. Head down to LA sometime.
Yeah, keeping it real, I think I'm going to, like, as soon as COVID ends, I'm probably going to go to Toronto just because I really want to check it out.
Please do. Strawberries up here, man.
Yeah.
We'll have a party. Panda Pops here.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But, just for various reasons. But I really want to see Toronto, like, ASAP just to go visit because it seems like a dope place. Essential. I was like, oh, man, this was my chance to visit Toronto. Now I'm, like, itching to go because I couldn't. So, yeah.
It's pretty special, I think. It's, like, similar to, like, Seattle in the way that it's special over there, or Portland or something. There's just something about it you feel when you're here.
Yeah. Like I'm like 99% sure that's my next travel destination. So I will definitely hit you up.
Nice,
we'll
man.
chill. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Get some Tim Hortons. I'm excited.
Yeah. I got a bed for you anytime.
Cool. Oh, for sure. Thank you. Yeah. We'll figure it out
pleasure,
when the
bro.
time comes.
Yeah. We'll do a little game jam or something too.
Dope. I'll bring my PC is all portable. I have an eGPU, so I'll bring Rocket League and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. No, I got a couple. I got you covered. No worries.
For sure. Dope.
Well, dude, good luck with everything. Good luck at work with your exciting stuff there and your music, of course. Any upcoming shows you have, and with your music. And you know what? Yeah, if you do have any, let's talk about that before we go.
Oh, that's the thing is I don't know if I could say which ones I'm doing yet because they're still secret.
Oh,
but I don't know
okay.
when this comes out.
Well, you have some, so there we go.
I have 2 for sure on my calendar that I'm like very stoked on, and of course I'm always at Virtual Memory. So if you go to Virtual Memory, more than likely I'm playing a set, and it's a great experience. I suggest if you got the time and got nothing going on the nights we have Virtual Memory, and highly suggest checking it out. But yeah,
sweet. And check out Torch. I'm looking at your Twitter here. Check out Groovy Kaiju or Groovy Godzilla or Torch at /Torch 2424 on Twitter. Twitter.com/Torch2424. And Bandcamp, I guess. But you can find it from the Twitter. And all the links we will have in the description, everybody, as well.
Cool, thank you.
Cool. Well, be well, my friend. Have a great sleep.
Okay,
You've got a couple more hours than me. I'm probably going to crash right away, but...
Yeah, my bad. I just didn't know if I was supposed to like just leave the Discord call or if that was the outro to the podcast.
We're still rolling, man. You said bye to me yet? Get out of here.
All right, cool. So I recorded my own audio. It ended up filling up twice. So I'll just send you all 3 files raw, and then I figured either you can use them or you don't use them, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
Cool. Or you can like splice them together. I can put them in order. But yeah, cool. All right, I'm leaving for sure now.
No.
Thanks, dude.
I think we're crossing. We're not seeing. I don't think you said an official goodbye. Did you? I was waiting for that, and then I was gonna stop recording, and then we can keep talking.
Oh no! I called it too early. Yeah.
So
right,
I'll cut it. I'll cut it in. Yeah. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Be well.
Be well. Cool.
And that's a wrap for my interview with Torch, aka Groovy Kaiju. Check him out, Torch2424 on Instagram and on Twitter. You can check out groovygodzilla.bandcamp.com for his albums. Check out Groovy Got Remastered on Pacific Plaza Records. Check out Still Groovy, Groovy Gets Friends. There's some really great stuff on there if you like what you heard during this episode. Thanks again to Torch for coming on the show. It was such a treat and always such a pleasure to talk to you, my friend. You're one of the best, let me tell you. Everyone, thank you so much for listening. Check out Utopia District. We've got the website, utopiadistrict.com. A lot of cool stuff happening on the YouTube, youtube.com/c/Utopia District. Great new video just went up by All Hell Breaks Loops and Skeleton Lipstick. Brand new single from Skeleton Lipstick. It is super hot fire. It's super nice. Check it out. What else we got? A lot of reviews going up. Some new team members. We got Matsu, good friend, amazing writer. Stoked to have you. We've got Demo Dog. Stoked. We've got some new artists, Java Plaza and Giga Clutch. Stoked to have you guys. Great stuff coming from all around Utopia District. I want to give a shout out to Priestess and Ice Level for kicking ass with Engagement, to Pronoko and Stu and Demo Dog and Dark Fez and DJ Non and Maximus. there's really a lot of people, and we're hoping to get everybody on the show soon so you can hear from them and see what it's like behind the scenes and get some more perspective on things from in Vaporwave and what other people have to say. Also, Casino and Copy and Hydra. I did not forget you guys. Squiz, of course, as well. There's so many people. If you want to check out everybody, go to utopiadistrict.com/about, and you can get a little description for each of us there. Thank you as always. We're going to leave you with some awesome tunes from Torch. Please check them out. groovygodzilla.bandcamp.com, and you can find the rest of his links there. And of course, we'll have plenty of great stuff in the description as well. Thanks as always, be well, and we'll see you next time.
Blow away. Girl, you're blowing my mind. Blow away. Girl, you're blowing my mind. You wouldn't take it easy. Now I don't have easy. Now I don't have the time. Go and have your fun. Go and have your fun. Go and have your fun. I've had enough. Don't leave it alone. And it's cold at night from you breathing in and out of my life. Blow away. Girl, you're blowing my mind. Blow away. Girl, you're blowing my mind. You wouldn't take it easy. Now I don't have easy. Now I don't have the time. Go and have your fun. Go and have your fun. Go and have your fun. I've had enough. Don't leave it alone. And it's cold at night from you breathing in and out of my life. And it keeps getting cold from you breathing in and out of my life. Keeps getting cold from you breathing in and out of my life. Keeps getting cold from you breathing in and out of my life. Keeps getting
In the overhead bins, particles have a tendency to shift and move about during the flight. It's been a pleasure having you on board with us this evening. Hope you've enjoyed the JetBlue experience, and we look forward to flying with you in the future. Have a pleasant day here in Long Beach or wherever your travels may take you.
大空へ二人飛んで夢をつかもう大空へ二人飛んで夢を